Greetings, adventures, or in this case, for today, exiles and foodies. Welcome to today's stream. And I hope you're all as excited as I am for today's big reveal. I think it's gonna be big, but we'll see that in mere minutes when we start the bingo carding. Where do I put this? Over on the other edge. There we go. Right, let's get this open. There we go. All right. So, have you all prepared yourself for Boat League? I hope you have. That is not what I wanted to open. I wanted to Discord. Let's see if there's any messages we need to rely on from the EOE news. No, nothing much new here, it seems. Okay, so before we go into all the nitty-gritty bitty details of today's stream, I quickly want to go over some what do we know, what do we not know, and then we're going straight into making a bingo card. How I'm gonna do it, I don't know, but we are. First, let's make a background like this. Much better. Get it like a bit darker. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay. Oh Lord. Right. And with the changes that we're gonna go through with the this up here. Of course, we could get going to teasers. Here we go. Like my comment. Yeah. Cheers, Methel. Cheers. Anyways, let's get into the details. First of all, let's close this. Let's open up here and get into the details. Open. Show. Do we actually have time for that? Because it starts in... plenty of time. Plenty of time. Right, so I hope everybody has stacked up on coffee and whatnot. And yeah, let's get to it. Right, first off, let's go down to the first post. And actually, let's watch the trailer real fast. Settlers of Calber. I should have searched Path of Exile instead. Here we go. Where's the... what? Where's the trailer? It's this one, of course. Okay. Let me just pause the music, pause you, pause music. This is a pro streamer at work. as you can all see. Let me know if this is too loud.
Hello again, Rayclast. Ah, Faustus. It'll be a pleasure doing business with you.
I just love this music. That's the theme for the music, like the Pirates of the Caribbean music theme song. Oh, this is gonna be a fun leak. Imagine if that was like the song and everything you will just hear throughout the entire next couple of months with Settlers of Clegure. That would be awesome. Right, so quick breakdown. You see
Hello
Danning, I believe his name is, I can never remember, arriving on a ship together with the little currency guy and Rock, and they are meeting, of course, our expedition boat guy, or expedition guy here, together with the engineer expedition heist thingy. You have all the windmills, you have the boat, you have like the port coming in here, like together with the chests filled here and sheeps and windmills and really, really open landscape. Really hope that they're planning for something big, because it's a big open place and there's so many possibilities is what they're basically hinting at. I hope. Opium
It'll
incoming.
be a pleasure doing business with you.
They do say business, and with business is also like, if we go back to the idea of gold that I mentioned earlier, I really hope this is going to involve gold in some kind of manner. So that was it for the trailer. Right, let's see here. Reservation skills is changing.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. This is the first in a series of videos covering upcoming changes in our 3.25 expansion, The Settlers of Clegure. In 3.25, reservation effects, such as heralds and auras, persist through death, allowing you to get right back into combat as fast as possible. You can find out more about 3.25 on July 18th at our GGG Live event. See you then!
Interesting that it doesn't link. Okay, sorry, I didn't pay attention there for a second. As for reasons unbeknown, didn't want that, I wanted this. Okay. Right, let's quickly announce that I'm live. Did this work? I think it worked. All right. All right. Let's just also go in here and say we need to update the Twitch because the drops are enabled. Can I do it here? Oops. Perfect. Holy, what have I done? Okay, there we go again. All right, perfect. This is we're going to go over the reservation skill, and we're going to check out what's been changing, basically what we know is changing. And from that perspective, we are going to make a bingo card, of course. So let's get to it.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. This is the first in a series of videos covering upcoming changes in our 3.25 expansion, The Settlers of Kalgur.
Okay, so already here, I hope this is Hopium, of course, Copium, same but different, but I'm really hoping with the chaos dot that we're seeing going on in the background, that it will see a comeback in some way or another. I'm a huge fan of the Bane skill, but it just got hit too hard for it to actually function. So I really hope that that we can see a comeback for chaos dot. I love chaos dot basically. So let's just going to be problematic. Chaos dot. This is probably going to be a problem. And I like stretch this. Oh my good gracious lord. We can. Okay, this is perfect. Yes, perfect. Which one is the better? Oh, better color. What do you think, chat? Yellow? Oh wow, what am I doing here? We're gonna make a new canvas after this. Let's open a notepad instead and write down what we think should, in some way or manner, should be on the click. Okay, there we go. So, oh my good gracious God, can I just get a note? Note block clean, please. New, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna hope for some chaos dot, at least.
3.25. Reservation effects, such as heralds and auras, persist through death, allowing you to get right back into combat as fast
This is a hell lot of auras
as possible.
for one guy.
You can find out more about such as heralds and auras, is the
if you
first
look
in
at
a
it-
series of videos covering upcoming.
This is probably a high-end build
325.
because you can also see that his flask is not moving, so definitely mage blood confirmed right there. Chaos.n, I have a belief that they are going to nerf auras in some way or manner. I just have a feeling for it. I'm not sure how, but I have a feeling for it. What do you guys please bid in chat if you have any thoughts or anything on it. Please do bid on whatever you're thinking. Okay, let's see here. Oh god, I accidentally clicked Steam. Cancel, please. There we go. Okay, Settlers of Kulgur Quality of Life Harvest.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. We've got a tiny quality of life improvement today. In the Settlers of Kulgur update, you can start harvest encounters with just a single action. And yes, we made a whole video about it.
And yes, we made a whole video about it. That statement means this is not the biggest quality of life, or not the main thing they wanted to show with this video. That's 100%. If you take a look at it, actually it's a cyclone, and from the looks of it, it's kind of like an
With just a single action.
An old school cyclone with the self buff, or perhaps he's in the map with the temp change. Anyways, his buffs are expiring slower, as you can see in the top here. So maybe they're hinting at some melee. What I've noticed the most in basically any of the melee hints they've been giving, they're not. They don't have any totems. Literally 0 totems is on their hotbars. Neither the Val, Ancestral, or anything. So I really, really hope that the totems are gone for this league. Well, not gone for good, but at least reworked. Totems. Not required. Melee. Gladiator rework. Which were the least played ascendancy? Necropolis, that was... Who the hell played a shadow? Interesting. But yeah. Guardian, Gladiator, Raider, Assassin, Berserker. It's basically what I hope, but especially Gladiator. I really had high hope here for this one last league, but it didn't happen, basically. Let's just keep track of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So anyone have specific things they really, really, really hope for and good arguments for why that is? We need 16 to make like a grid. currency liking heist is one of my beliefs. But yeah, basically one-click harvest things right here. Okay, proximity waypoints.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. This time around, we're bringing a few improvements from Path of Exile 2 back to the OG. In 3.25, you'll no longer need to interact with waypoints to unlock them.
Yeah.
You can just walk by, and they'll activate automatically. You can find out more about 3.25 time around.
Okay,
we're bringing
that's
a
just
3.25
absolute godly change they did there. I'm actually not sure if they're hinting anything else in this video. I haven't basically been able to sell anything for it as of yet. So, yeah. I'm really not sure what we can expect from this, because basically he's just running past. He haven't found a Quicksilver yet. That might just be because they made a character and spawned it in here. Yeah, this is just a quality of life, I think. No big hints in it, but maybe that's just me. Okay, nerf player. No. That's a big hope. Anyway.
Hi,
moving on.
I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. In the Settlers update, we've reworked item quality. The rarity of the item is no longer relevant when applying chisels, blacksmith's whetstones, and armorer's scraps to non-unique items. Instead, the amount of quality they provide is now based on the item level. Those currencies now apply 20% quality to very low-level equipment, with that amount reducing as the item level increases. This makes them much more appealing to you.
Yeah, the real showcase here was, of course, the quality, but also that superior Nightweave robe. This is godlike, like really crazy strong Inji Shield base that we're seeing right here. So Inji Shield builds, CI builds might have a comeback this league. I really hope so. I love CI Chaos dot builds. They're just amazing. Chaos dot of nerf auras, or more like a aura nerf. Okay. Chaos dot buff, aura, rework, totem, melee, rework, gladiator. A currency like in heist. Gold? Question mark. I really think we're gonna get her gold in some way or manner in the maps, kind of like heist rogue markers. We're gonna find it in the maps, and then we're gonna spend it as settlers on Kalgur. All right. Of course. City builder mechanic. Boats. Of course, we're gonna get the. We're gonna have to put in boats. Hi, I'm Chris. GGG. Chris makes an appearance.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. We've got more news about item quality today. Quality bonuses on armor and weapons are now multiplicative. In other words, weapons with full quality will give 20% more physical damage, and armor with full quality will have 20% more local defenses. You can find out more about 325 on July 18th at our GGG Live event. See you then!
More in-game crafting options. I'm talking recombinators, a rework of Harvest. I'm talking kind of like something that's less complicated than Necropolis and actually allows for seemingly craft better gear. Easy, or good gear. Easy. Not perfect, but better gear. So let's hope for that. Especially
Weapons
with
are
the
now
new ways to manipulate with the more damage. This is going to be crazy for leveling. It's going to be so much easier to find good upgrades when you're living in melee or fist bow. So yeah, this is really nice.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. Today, we've got more improvements coming in hot from Path of Exile 2. We're adding static life bars to bosses. Not all bosses will have them initially, but we're starting with the pinnacle bosses and act bosses in 325. You can find out more about 325 on July 18th at our GGG Live event. See you then!
You know what? Let's put it in our auction house. Let's see, what does Never Sing, right? Scarabs will have 6 tiers. Interesting. So the static life bars, and it's a trapper. So traps most likely is not completely nerfed, is my guess. But a trapper with price, 0% into trapping, so I have 0 idea what's going on. Oh, sorry, it's a Righteous Fire, of course. With Frostblink and Fire Trap. Heh. Goes on me. Anyways. The static life bar is more from Path of Exile 2. I really hope they put in some kind of easy currency trading. This is just a really big opium point for me. Just for currency, this would be amazing with an auction house. I hope it's likely not gonna happen. I really hope it's going to happen. Yeah. Moving on to the range you can pick up. This is actually interesting.
I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. In the Settlers update, the Exile's arms have gotten a little longer.
Right. Also, again, we got a slam skill. We have a ton of extra exerted, so Warcry buffs are confirmed. But we have extra exerts. Next to that, we have the slam that he's using.
We have increased the range.
Yeah, it's basically they're gonna match it up to
items when using a keyboard and mouse to be more on par with controller users. Here's a
right. New pickup range, old pickup range. This is actually what control users already have, so kind of interesting. Actually,
comparison.
You're not gonna immediately feel it, feel it. You can't exactly like watch it, but trust me, this is gonna be one of those immediate feels moment. Like ASAP, you can feel this.
You can find out more about 325 on July 18th at our GGG Live event. See you then! Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. In the Settlers update, you might come across a new oil, found only in Blighted and Blight-ravaged maps.
again, we have a slam build. What I particular about this build is the Congo maze, so to speak. With the Congo maze, I really hope, really hope that melee is gonna get a humongous buff. And buffing all melee base types is something stupid like that.
All the secret notables that can be anointed on your amulet now use this oil.
This is gonna be data mined faster than the speed of light.
We have added many more notables to that pool. Like this one.
Is this gonna be tried? Like, it's somebody's gonna go out and just get a few of those, and they're just gonna mix and match everything, and throw everything into a spreadsheet within 1 to 2 days. That's the classic Path of Exile community. Somebody's gonna make a spreadsheet, and everything will be known about this oil within a few days. That's my bet, at least. That's the classic Path of Exile experience, at least. You have something new like this, it's literally in a spreadsheet within days. People doing math, which one is the best. So, yeah, 100% there's going to be a broken one.
You can find out more about 325 on July 18th at our GGG Live event. See you then.
Yeah. Okay. Settlers of Kalgur teases sixth map slot.
Hi,
But
I'm
the
Mark
I can
Roberts,
speak is going to be
Game
amazing.
Director on Path of Exile. In 325, we're adding a sixth map device slot. This one was a bit of a nightmare for our...
Melvin, please. Quality. Hello. 2K. 4K. There we go. Right. So he's using the Belly of the Beast and worms. Oh, not worms, right? Reslavas coil. This is interesting. 6 slots, and he is using the flask, and this is probably the one we saw in Harvest, actually. Looking in the mirror. This is probably the Harvest character they used for the same... cancel. There we go. It's probably the same they used down here in the Harvest. If we take a look. Granite, Quicksilver, Onslaught, and Lion. It's the exact same. Okay, so this is how they actually made a Cyclone, two-handed Cyclone player. What is that? What is this? I can't remember. I believe this was the Harbinger thingy, but he's not wearing the shield. That's kind of interesting how he got that. Let's try something here. New auras. Or should we say new heralds? What do you guys think? We can do both. I can see already that the 16 things is gonna go past, like, we need 25. Just for like bingo, it's like 3x3, 4x4, 5x5, so it's either 60, it's either like 9, 9, 16 or 25. It must be, yeah. Math checks out. This is a boomer brain at work. Alright, new auras, new heralds. I'm not going to say rebalance of existing units, because that's almost guaranteed that they're going to rebalance a few units here and there, so that's kind of boring to say.
our UI designers. You don't want to see the prototypes. Or maybe you do.
This one I kind of like if it had one more. So like if we had 7 map slots, this would be cool. The pyramid shape, also pretty neat. Of a 6-link. This one right here. Holy what? And I think a designer over here had a meltdown that day. But yeah.
The 5th and 6th map device slots are unlocked by completing either.
So the thing I want to note here.
Your first 10.
Imagine, no, not imagine. If you see, he has dual wield equipped. He does not have dual wielding here. How is it he has a weapon here? But if we go over to here, it looks like he is.
First 10-way encounter with the maid.
Okay. Is this a better picture? Yeah, as you can see here, he has 2 blades instead of a single 2-hander. That's kind of interesting. Actually, I'd noticed that now. Actually, I haven't seen it before. But if you can actually see a dual wielding and single 2-hander. That is kind of interesting.
Device slots up.
Actually, dual wielding and a 2-hander. Okay, maybe that has something to do with this aura, because this one is active now and it's not active here. Might actually be onto something. New aura, new herald. Heralds. No, heralds. Please, game. Notepad. Bandit reward. Oh,
Hi,
somebody's gonna miss
I'm
this
Mark
up.
Roberts,
while
game
running
director
through
on
the
Path of
campaign.
Exile. In 325, we are changing the Bandit quest reward in Act 2. If you choose to help Oak, he will grant you plus 40 to maximum life. Helping Alera grants you 15% to all elemental resistances. And helping Creighton gives you 8% increased movement speed. If you choose to kill all 3, Eramir will give you 1 passive skill point. We have also changed the Through Sacred Ground quest in Act 2 to provide an additional
Again, double strike. Melee.
passive skill point, so you can still get the same total number of skill points as before. You can find out more about 325.
Right, that's a pretty straight up. It hints at more melee stuff. So of course, melee reworked is definitely a solid contender to have a watch at. So let's hope that it's more than just removing the totems and buffing a few skills. I hope it's more than that. So, but
Hi,
we can't.
I'm Mark Roberts, game director on Path of
This is
Exile.
interesting.
In the Settlers update, we have
Especially because
removed
I
the
love
first
running
15 waves from the
simulacrums.
simulacrum. Usually,
And again, you can see it's actually not a double strike. This is a dual strike. He's a dual wielding.
characters reaching this content were a high enough level that the first waves were tedious and unrewarding. Simulacrum should now be a lot faster to run.
Lacerate? Bleed lacerate?
On top of this, we have added more opportunities to get the specific unique items like voices by defeating the bosses as you complete waves.
Yeah. I really hope that bleed rework. Oh, of course. Dual wheel rework. like melee and in general, but also specifically dual wielding, getting something entire new. That would be crazy strong.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, game director on Path.
X. This I had to. X rejoin Grinding Gear Games.
Of Exile. Notice anything different about this map hover? In the
Like, why would they otherwise go for a place where cursed words? Well, why? Of course, the betas, but this is pure copium, and maybe she's gonna come back, maybe not.
Settlers of Calgary update, you can hover or select a map at any time on your atlas to see which divination cards can drop there. You can find out more. The Settlers of Calgary update, you can hover.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up for a second. You'll probably thank me for that. But if you notice, there's actually a little swing sound whenever he hovers over a map. That's kind of interesting. Try and listen. I'll shut up.
Notice anything different about this map hover? In the Settlers of Calgary update, you can hover or select a map at any time on your atlas to see which divination cards can drop there.
So there's kind of this little swing sound whenever he hovers. There are two options. One, going to kill your ears in the long run. Two, it's going to be bloody awesome feature to have. Those are probably the two options. I'm just making sure that we don't miss whenever PoE go live. So, yeah. Valdo's pass box. Also, they teased a ranged character, meaning it might not exactly be dead. Range. Nah, it's not gonna be nerfed. Most likely. If you like tornado skill, detonate dead, of course. Detonate dead, nerf. Because just obliterated the rankings and everything last league, so yeah. Perfect Exile. There we go. All right. PD nerf. All right.
I'm Mark Roberts, game director on Path of Exile. In the Settlers update, Valdo's puzzle boxes will be far more common. We've had to balance the value of each box to be a little worse, but opening boxes is fun, so we've made them more available. Don't worry though, we've kept the total number of Mage Bloods introduced into the economy from Valdo's puzzle boxes identical. You can find out more about 325 on July 18th. Boxes identical.
Okay, and here again, Conqueror's Mace, the guy with the earthquake notes. So yeah, this is looking interesting, actually. What do I take of this? Opening boxes is fun in... Not sure. There's probably gonna be a higher chance that you get the lower range Valdos. That's not gonna be worth that much, but yeah, we'll see when that hits. I'm a bit skeptical. I can't speak. Suspicious about this one. Skeptical.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, game director on Path of Exile. In Settlers of Calgary, you might stumble across strange new encounters in Tier 16 and Tier 17 in-game maps.
Right, so here they confirmed that we are going to have Tier 17 still. Because they specifically mention 16 and 17.
Settlers of Calgary, you might stumble across strange new encounters in Tier 16 and Tier 17 in
16 and 17. So yeah, it's confirmed that we're gonna have both 16 and 17. So looking forward to still blasting some tier 17. However, I really hope they rebalance everything. That's not hope. That's kind of like, I think it's a given. They're gonna do that. That would be the most sensible way to go about the 17s, because it's been the drama of entire Necropolis League that they're just so build breaking that it's kind of ruining the fun of them. So, yeah.
Game maps. One such encounter is the Wildwood, from the Affliction League. Here you can explore the mysterious forest and release its powerful wisps to enhance your map. The characters from Affliction have moved on, and you won't be able to acquire the Wildwood ascendancies in these encounters.
Listen to this.
Acquire the Wildwood ascendancies.
Oh.
The characters from Affliction have moved on, and you won't be able to acquire the Wildwood ascendancies in these encounters. However, we might have other plans for that content.
We might have other plans for that content. Are you hinting at a entire new character introduced? Like, listen to this. It might just be me overthinking, but try and listen.
The characters from Affliction have moved on, and you won't be able to acquire.
They have moved on. Okay.
The Wildwood ascendancies in these encounters.
Wildwood ascendancies, yeah.
However, we might have other plans for that content.
So, they might have other plans. Not in future leagues, but literally other plans, stating that it's most likely that they're gonna make a return in Settlers of Kalgur. But it's not guaranteed. So it's kind of like either or, because I think, and this is a entirely very speculative thing, but I think we might see a new character. Last time that was introduced was when the Ascendant came to. And there are two reasons I'm thinking this, because it's both, and it would be a good time to bring out a new one if they go into a 4.0 era with the Settlers of Kalgur here. We're not sure if they're going to call it that. Entering 4.0. But if they are, it would make sense to make a new way to level, and it would make sense to revamp some of the campaign for first for your run through, and it would also mean a chance to bring out a new playable character. I have zero clue where that would be placed in terms of placement for agility, dex, and strength. Agility, dex, int, and strength. But I think this might be a chance to bring it out. The reason I'm not thinking it is because they have so much reworking and balancing that need to be done to the current existing ascendancies before they can actually muster to take out a new class. Also with the entire focus of everything happening in PoE2. So, yeah, it's kind of so-so. What models, he says.
You can find out more about 325.
Okay, right. So this is what we have on the bingo card as of yet that we need to make. So what are we thinking? Chat, what do we need to add? What do we need to add to this bingo card? I need your help here. Am I missing something? Because here's dot buff. Aura nerf. Rework totems. Totems are no longer required for melee. Melee work in general. Gladiator rework. Of ascendancy, like in general. Big changes to them. Currency in, well, this is kind of given. They all raise due west. Let's go for Raider and Guardian. Let's go for Guardian rework. There we go. Raider. Gladiator, Raider, and Guardian. Most likely those who need it the most currency in like in heist. Gold? Question mark. So like if we can find this in maps, I think. City builder mechanic. Boats in any shape or form. Wild Chris appears. More end game crafting option. Auction house copium. Maybe just for currency. New heralds. New auras. Bleed rework. Dual wield. Bex rejoins. GGG. Detonate. Dead nerf. Entering 4.0 era. Guardian rework. What more could we... We have the new pinnacle boss. Pinnacle boss. Can I spell pinnacle? Most likely not. Pinnacle. There we go. Most likely we're gonna need 3 more. And I kind of want them to be true to their words. So let's see, what more have Path of Exile hinted at? Of course, we got the Dreamlong patch note incoming. CGD is going to visit them personally. Oh? Okay. A lot of weird questions being asked. So let's say this. Sticky. Sticky counts 3 death checks. What else we're gonna do? Oh, 4. New chase units. And the last one, chaos.aura. What could be a last completely wild thing that we could see. Okay, chat. Any ideas? A last idea. I think we are gonna go and say Magic Mind is gonna get nerfed. Alright, now we're just gonna make a bingo board. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just do out to 10. And down-ish to 10. Okay, perfect. Let's draw the lines instead. That's better. We're gonna draw a 1 at 2. Oh god, that's so. At the 2, at the 4, the 6. At the 8th. Two. Four. 6th. And 8th. Okay. Now it's time to type. This cannot be read, can it? Where do I make it fatter? There we go. Bit too fat. Yes, this is too fat. Yes, but rework. Ah, beautiful. Oral. Nerf. Oh. Them. Rework. That's a ugly ass rework. Okay, perfect. This is so beautiful. No longer. Can't spell no longer. No. Longer. Need. Autumn. Yes. Melee. Okay, this is perfect. Where did we get from? I don't want this to be in the middle. Yeah. Melee. Zoom in to do this. Melee. Re. Work. Perfect. Either rework. Radar. Rework. Currency like en heist. Gold. Question. Question mark? Ah, this is so beautiful. City builder. Nick. Oh god, this is ugly. And that's absolutely perfect. Boats. Chris Wilson. New. New in-game craft option. Yeah, people can see that's the stance currency. New aura. Oh yikes. New herald. What do you guys think? Is this good? Oh, Christ almighty. Bleed? Rework? Duel? Wield? X. D. Nerf. It is time for 4.0. Oh my god, that's probably the ugliest G in the world. Guardian. Guardian. Rework. New. Placed. Pinnacle bows. Big account free dev checks. New chase items. Magic bind. No. Hey. I think we're pretty much set with this one. Okay, let's see the StarCraft. Let's check out the Path of Exile. Are you live yet? Not yet. Where did the bingo board go? Alright, the bingo board is complete. Well, let's go and post it on different social media. And let's make a extremely fast video. I didn't really not want to see that. Path of Exile. Please, can I go back? There we go. I really need to get a webcam. Bingo board launched. Where did it go? There we go. Well, yeah. Kiwi bingo board done, filled with hopium and concerns. And yeah, I think this pretty much sums up the entire thing, actually, with the bingo board. We are hoping for a chaos dot rework. We're hoping for oral nerf, or we're hoping for chaos dot rework to the better. We're threading a oral nerf. I hope totem get reworked, so it's more than just 2 to 3 totems that's worth using. There are some forgotten totems out there. Rejuvenating totem, looking at you right now. No longer need totem as a melee player. Gladiator rework, radar rework, currency items like in heist, so gold, a city builder mechanic, boats, hearing a wild Chris Wilson, new endgame craft option, auction house for currency, a complete melee rework, new auras, new heralds, bleed rework, dual wield rework, Bex rejoining grinding gear games, detonate detonator 4.0 time, guardian rework, got new pinnacle boss, the Siggity counts free death check, new chase items, and magic find nerf. So yeah, that's basically the entire PoE thing gone over. How is my theme here? Is it perfect waiting room bingo card hopium me? Right, so this is perfect. Let's close it down. I'm just gonna make sure that everything has the right title and everything. Content. Live. Do we have a path of exile? I have a picture of the boat. Perfect. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right. So this is what we are hoping for. You were there. If we can find the Twitch Path of Exile. There we go. Because I have to be watching this in order for you guys to get the loot. It's not turned on already. I cannot click it. Okay. Let's hope for it. But yeah. With the bingo bot made, now we just wait for the announcement to begin. So, a little fun thing. What do you guys think could be a fun thing? Because we have to take a look at... Oh. Does that mean it's live now? Live now. Watch. Oh, perfect timing. Larden. All right. I'm watching. And I think I have this enabled. Visit your Twitch settings. Yeah. Okay, this is done. You're planning to stream Path of Exile and want to enable Twitch drop for your viewers. Let's just make sure that this is a thing. Okay. This is Path of Exile. Rob's activated. Excellent. Oh yeah, boys. Okay, log in. This number is just rising, skyrocketing faster than no one before. This is great. So, what are you guys hoping for as a rework? What's your biggest hope for this? Also, do you want like theater? Do you want like full screen? We can have the chat open in full screen actually. Let's do it like that. I don't have have chat overlay here. Actually, let me see here. Can I get TV overlay? Yes. Wait. So would this be bad? I could make it oh, that's very small. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's do it like this. I am uncertain if it would be better to have it up here. Let me know. People are just spamming and way. It's crazy. Okay. Are we at the highest quality? Yes, we are. If this was like half the amount of people since last time. Okay, let's make a guess. I'm guessing it will go to like 140-50k just before they start. It's going to like 100+k viewers, most likely. That is my bet. In the meantime, can we actually... Let's have a look at the drop that we can get. It's bloody awesome. I mean, look at the pirate theme going on. I love it. Yarr. Hell yeah. Hello, Fops. And welcome. What's your biggest hope for PoE this upcoming league? Let me know what your thoughts are. Also, have you checked the bingo board that we made? Just 1 hour, we're gonna see everything. Right. This is better than Christmas, basically, whenever this happens. And sometimes I just get so excited for PoE and all the reveals that's coming. It's like Christmas all over again. And a few times I have been so disappointed with what happened. So I really hope that this time around it's gonna be great. It's gonna be big. Like, not just big, like real big. So let's hope for it. Is it like offline or online? Ah, there we go. I just had to like restart. Hell yeah. Somebody typed to me on Discord. Oh, I see. How the bloody hell does that happen? I just saw your message on Discord. Oops. Let's see if we can. Okay, that's random. I just look out my window on the left and there's a huge air balloon right outside my window. Let me just pull up a separate window. Go over here. Christ. Turn you down a bit. This is a streamer at work. That must mean I have to go into to control panel. Settings, stream. We're getting okay. I'm not sure that one. That clip. Permissions. No. Moderation. Pops, if you're an expert on this, I would love maybe this one. Shield. Right. I think this changed it. When this is chosen, only emojicons can be sent in chat. Oh, why is this a standard setting? Oh my bloody things I can't say on Twitch and YouTube. Sweet mother of a bloody if something Christ almighty. A lot of words I can't say. Holy, why is this a standard? You're very free to speak. But seriously, why is this a standard? Holy Jesus Christ. Slow. Let's, what is this? Men forhindrer chatter, yes, en fortløbende med inden for... Okay, people can chat within 3 seconds. I don't have any issue with that. Christ. Okay, sorry. There we go. Apparently I couldn't check that off. I don't have a mod. I'm not that big, Fobs. I have myself. Yeah. Okay, I can see you, and you guys can see the chat. And this is going to be awesome. Okay, sorry, Fub. So please allow me to ask the questions again. 2 questions, of course. Have you seen the bingo board that I made? What's your thought, and what are you really... I loved what Neversink did here. Anyways, and what are your biggest hope for 3.0? Sorry, 3.0 for Boat League here. This is the bingo board we did. Might do a link. Looking for a good simulacrum build. Well, I am too. So I am definitely going for a build that I hope can do simulacrum. That's not DD, hopefully melee. I love melee, but it's been in a shitty situation. I really hope I can make a melee build that's not Cyclone, and it can do simulacrum, and it's not Flicker Strike. Because I've been playing Flicker Strike for so long. That are my those are my hopes. So yeah, definitely stay tuned, because that's my literal goal, to be able to farm simulacrums this coming league, unless something completely crazy happens or anything. My question, can I like pin? Can I pin this chat? Yo. Oh god, I'm so sorry for that. View. There we go. But yeah, I'm really hoping for being able for build being able to clear simulacrums all the way, and not just like at clear, but like actual decent clear. Probably not like god-like tier, but just being able to get over it and do decent clear. And hopefully not cyclone. Played like 4 or 7 cyclones. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, of course, if I hit a bingo, I need to have the bingo board open. Oh god, that's not what I wanted. Bingo board. Bingo board. Body swap of sacrifice. Is that like an alternative? Is that an alternative to? Body swap? Huh. The more you know. The different. Oh, yeah, that's the one. On your max life. Minions max life, right. Yeah. That's also a thing. Poet's pin thingy, most likely. Or the that one I can never remember. The not the spell thingy that just reserve mana. I can never remember the name of that one. Holy. Intellect. Yeah, the one that reserves mana so it casts the spell whenever you fire an attack, basically. What I'm thinking of. Alright. Is the music too loud? Should I turn down, or is this fine? Please be my guidance on that one. Like, when I say music, I mean this right here. Also, let's actually remove the chat bubble. You guys have a chat bubble over here, of course. On mobile, interesting. I wonder how many people would actually be on mobile. All right. Let's see here. 40 minutes remaining. So, we need to figure out what happens if I get a bingo. There are a few options. Most likely I'm not gonna get a bingo. But if I get a bingo, we need to figure out what I should do. Thinking. If I don't get a bingo, that's that's kind of reverse bingo. I wouldn't go that route. That would be about that. No, thank you. If I get a bingo, let's go it like that, because it's. Like, I'm not saying it's uncertain that I could be. It could actually happen, because this one up here is actually kind of likely. Like this one up here, chaos dot rework. They hinted at a chaos dot build. Aura nerf. It might happen because people is buffing the hell out of auras. So maybe this is gonna get nerfed. Totem rework might happen, since they have hinted that you're not going to no longer need totem as a melee player, so they might rework the totem completely. And a gladiator rework, which people have been screaming for the past couple of times now. So this one up here might actually be a thing. Also this one, this might actually also hit, because chaos dot rework, radar rework, new end game crafting option, now that we don't have necropolis anymore, but kind of have a, not a similar to necropolis, but something like if they introduce an old school new mechanic, recombinators, for example, as I think it was Captain Lance, or I think it's Captain Lance that was hoping big time that recombinators would get back into the game. Bleed rework, of course, Bleed reworks, and Guardian rework also. I'm uncertain how they're going to do Bleed reworks. I would hope, because Bleeds just cap out at a certain point, and it's like you can't increase the DPS because it reaches bleed cap. So I'm not sure if it could be fixed by doing more bleed. I don't know the technical terms for why it's not possible, but hopefully if they could fix it by allowing more bleeds in some way, Not sure that's possible, but allowing for more bleed for higher total DPS. Not sure how it works or if it works that way. And of course, Guardian rework as the last. Together with the Aura Nerve and Totem and everything. With the Guardian rework, we might see something here. Especially with the big guard guy, sentinel guy thing that he can summon. So yeah, might happen. Things I think are least to happen is this one. Totem rework, City Builder, Melee, makes rejoin grinding key games, City make free count of death checks. And first of all, City Builder mechanic, Bex join GGG again, most likely not. And Siggy count free death checks. This one might happen. The Bex rejoin grinding gear games and the City Builder mechanic, most likely not. This one is probably like the least possible. City Builder and boats, of course. And of course we have the auction house. Which one is very low chance? 4.0 error. That we go into 4.0 error. I have a copium for it. But yeah. It probably stays at copium. Oh yeah, bonus. I have 5.5k channel points. Quite a bit. Right. Let's see the community post here. How are people reacting to this one? 5 votes. Vote leak confirmed. Hell yeah. Login. New 1KS item incoming. I loved this one. Making this one. New 1C item incoming. 100% they guarantee some new unique items and people are gonna spam 1C in the chat. 100% guaranteed that they're gonna do that. Next to that, if you just look here, so like log into can, one boat. We had another ranger, hashtag make melee great again. My category to be. Yeah, this is a boomer at work, as you can hear. See. What is my category? Oh, I see. I thought I did that. Oh, that category. That is very kind. If I go into video studio, this one, home, administrator stream. Please don't tell me there's something here I can't. Yeah, I don't want the. There we go. Nice. Stream info updated. Thank you for choosing Twitch. Or something. Right. Hell yeah. Right, thanks. Maybe that will help. It is also been quite a long time since I actually like streamed regularly. Work has been tearing on me, so I have to remember everything about streaming right now, which is quite a hassle. There's so many check marks you have to sit and make sure that you have checked this and that, and as for an example with your not being able to chat, that was kind of like, oh, yeah. So, the question... Oh, let's go down. There we go. Now for Chatters Live. The biggest question I am going to be... This has probably been 3.25. If we take like a look down memory lane for leaks himself. It's your second. Oh god. Oh. Yeah, I go a bit back. Let's put it like that. Back in my days. Now it's time for Zoe with an old boomer. If we go back here, this is where I started. Right here. Yeah. Back here. I remember. I literally remember when I played Anarchy and Onslaught. I literally remembers when I played those. It was absolutely a blast. So let's say I've been along for a few years. On PoE. Still dreaming back to the day of the endless lich we once had. But yeah, this will be my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19. 20, 21. 45 leagues. 45th league. Jesus. That's it. That put things into perspective. Anyway, so 45 leagues later, we're still here. So something? They're doing something right. I still don't know half the... Well, that's a lie. I just still don't know everything that's going on with the Path of Exile. The general Discord? Yes, I was there 3,000 years ago. That's an absolute perfect meme I've been thinking about using quite so many times, especially because it just fits so well in with the boomer theme. Like, there are so many dad jokes you can't comprehend. and it's especially funny because that's totally my humor. Dad jokes all the way. They come more natural to me in Danish, of course they do, but yeah, I'm totally into dad jokes, especially when I play the oh, right, that's personal. Stop it, that's not what I want. Where is it? Okay, there we go. The league. Yeah. I believe, like, since we're talking, I can't remember when I was this excited for League reveal. Like, literally, I cannot remember. We're going back for, like, the Warbands League when we entered 2.0. We're going to go back to Harbinger League where we introduced the 3.0. Like, we're back here in these times. It's kind of like this. We're going all the way back to then, since I've been this excited. Something here doesn't add up. Oh, it is matching. It's just a bit behind. Like, local time. I definitely hope to make one. Like, as dedicated simulacrum farmer. I really want to make one. This, I just hope the simulacrum splinters is not gonna be so overpriced that unless you have a Omega Juice build, it's not gonna be worth playing. That could be my fear for it. Like, so for instance, if you have a splinter that you could, instead of going for actually playing the simulacrum, it would be better for you to sell the key to the simulacrum. That's what I'm afraid might happen. Yeah. I really hope that that's not the case. But we will see. Only time will tell. I hope that is not going to be it. Actually, let's change something here. Drops. All right. I think we go. I think this is the perfect title for it. For the stream. Drops. Path of Exile 3.25 reveal. Hashtag make Melee great again. Hashtag Poke League. Perfect. I really hope they do like a huge rework of Melee, and I could make some water skills I love. Ground Slam, for instance. Oh, I love Ground Slam. It's just like one of those feel good abilities, really. Can I get like a slam? I really want to, I would really love like a slam build. I would love to play a slam build. If I just write slam. 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 Like a slam build would be absolutely the funniest thing to play. Especially with the horse chosen. I love this. I played a Doriani's Touch once, very long time ago. I have zero idea if this is even viable in any way possible. But maybe it is, actually. It hasn't been changed since 3.10. Oh my god. But yeah. Is Perforate a slam? I guess. Yeah, oh, right. Perforate. But I would really love like Ground Slam. Ground Slam I just love so much. It's so great. So I really hope this get a huge buff. Yeah. Ground Slam of Earth Shaking. Deals more damage. Hits with closure. More damage. Isn't this the same? Radius, increased angle. Ah, right, this is not the same. I never did one. Probably not gonna do one either. If anything, is it right? Tectonic Slam is also the things that I played for Slam build was I have played the I've played Consecrated Path once. This might actually be playable now. This was like a budget Flicker Strike. Played it back in something like here when it was buffed previously. I think 3.16 or something. I played it back then. I think something like that. But basically, it's I felt it was like a budget version of a Flicker Strike, like a clunky version of Flicker Strike, basically. It might be they changed it. I have never played a Tectonic Slam. I would love to try and play a Tectonic, but that would most likely be an achievement, and let's see how that goes this time around. Ground Slam should be a pretty solid go-to. You can go for it at level 1. And just keep going, basically. And it's just two-handed weapons all the way. Yeah. The thing with Tectonic Slam is, of course, it's scaled with endurance charges. So the more endurance charges you have, the better. This branching, yeah, okay, so this can get like 60%. More damage per endurance charge removed. Yeah, this is the one. This would require you to like get a shit ton of endurance charges, basically. But I mean, it's very means for that. Many means to get endurance charges, like extremely many means to get endurance charges. So I guess. Come on, go faster, time, move it. Like an impatient. I'm literally like my own toddler whenever we serve dinner in the evening. Like 10 minutes up to evening, he's running around screaming like, I want a cake, I want ice cream. We're like, no, it's dinner in 2 seconds. And he's like, ice cream. That's my life at around 5-6 p.m. Anyways, but yeah, Ground Slam is definitely, if it gets buffed, that's definitely on my lookout for. I played Earthquake once. It's pretty good feel skill with if you play it like the Restoration Swift Affliction version, where you like reduce the time from when you hit till the aftershock occurs. Then it's a really good feeling skill, like you slam and everything just dies. My thing is, I'm just worried if it's viable for things like tier 17, where since I played it, the game has sped up like 2 or 3 times. So the time takes for this to go off is probably you're dead before it happens. Earthshatter I have not tried. I haven't really I have never tried Earthshatter. Let's see, one other there. Okay, so like Consecrated Path, Earthquake kinda out the window. Earthshadow, maybe. Ground Slam, maybe. Ice Crash is a very solid contender, and Ice Crash has been a extremely solid attack skill for a long time. Like really solid. This has been a go-to for many slam builds and many endgame builds actually. Sunder is a thing, I guess. I played it once and never really said me anything. I don't like the straight line. And then people, of course, are saying the volcanic fissure of snaking. Yeah. Underground creating wandering fissure that deals area damage. Traveling when you reach target destination. Okay, erupts. Deals area damage when you reach target. It erupts, dealing damage. After erupting, the fissure continues moving. 2 additional times. And it can go up to 3 additional times. Okay, I see. Yeah. I'm kind of excited for what they're gonna do. So let's hope for the best. Really hoping for kind of like a real shake-up. That's what I've been missing for the past like 5 to 10 weeks. Like it's been spill and bow meta for like as long as I can remember, basically. If you're not going tornado shot, you're going lightning arrow, you're going lightning strike. If you're not going lightning, you're going ice shot. If you're not, you're going tornado shot. Like that's kind of been the go-to for all the end gamers, all the really end game builds. And I really hope we're gonna see a complete shake up now. That's my hope, at least. We'll see. In 5 minutes, we'll see. And then I really hope that I can soon afford a webcam, so you guys can actually see me. That would be these kind of reactions would be 10 times more fun if you guys could actually see my reaction. But I'm very sorry for not having one. I tried fiddling with actually my phone, setting it up, and let's say that it didn't go very well. So yeah, I really hope that I could get something working soon. Alright, 5 minutes remaining. I am gonna go a quick bathroom break before it all goes down. Let's say paint. Perfect. Be right back. And we are back, my friends and family, and foodies and exiles. Oh yeah. Right. Pops, are we ready for the PoE League announcement? Indeed, hype. Right, Fabs, do you want the chat thingy up here? I can see that my stream is actually 5 seconds delayed. You want the chat thingy up here, or want me to remove it so it can be seen better? Because I will go into theater mode. I can move it very fast. I'll just remove it. If you want it back, let me know. There we go. And then we have the pure vision. Okay, let's go into full screen.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Welcome to GGG Live. Today, we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile Settlers of Kalgur, which launches next week on July 26th. Twitch drops are enabled on today's livestream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your Corsair back attachment.
Chris made an
In
appearance.
today's stream, we will take you on a deep dive into the new Settlers of Kalgur Challenge League.
Curse rate.
League mechanics, its new and revised crafting systems, a new trade market system for currency, some sweeping balance improvements, including 2 Ascendancy class changes, endgame improvements, some further additions to the campaign, and some quality of life features. We'll then talk about our console-native port releases and the features that come alongside them. Finally, we'll show you our new supporter packs, ending with a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile's game director, Mark, your questions from Twitch chat. After the livestream, we'll drop the full patch notes. I'll hand over to Mark now to introduce the new league.
We've really innovated with the content in this league, and I'm really excited to see what everyone thinks. So let's just get right into it with the trailer for Path of Exile, Settlers of Kalgur.
I'm so hyped. Go. In. Okay.
Rayclast is a cursed land. You'd have to be mad to settle here. And yet, welcome to King's March! It's not much yet, but with your help, we can erect the greatest city Rayclast has ever seen.
City building, let's
We'll need resources
go!
and savvy planning.
Oh my god, gold. Am I
Soon
actually
we'll
right?
attract settlers, craftsmen,
Crafting system
fortune seekers,
models?
and of course, pirates.
Pirates, let's go!
But if we prevail, our ships will be heavy with gold. We hope to achieve the impossible.
My
We hope
bloody
to build
lord.
a home.
Oh! Spirit gold! Oh my bloody hell. Yes! 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 Holy fuck, yes! Okay, I'm excited now.
In Path of Exile Settlers of Kalgur, you will encounter some familiar faces from the Expedition League. Danig, Rog, Tujin, and Gwenin are Kalguran people who are trying to establish trade between Rayclast and their homeland. They have recruited many curious characters from Rayclast, including some you may recognize, but are also seeking help of a powerful exile, like yourself. You will first encounter Johan, the King's Hand in Lionized Watch. He's there recruiting workers, traders, and exiles. Johan, under the command of the King of Kalgur, has been sent here to build a new city called King's March, which intends to become the hub of commerce between Rayclast and Kalgur. Soon, he will bring you to the planned site for King's March, which you'll notice has humble beginnings as just a tavern in a field. But with your help, it won't stay like this for long. It takes a lot to build a town. The Kalgurans will ask you to seek out resources that can be used to begin construction. On your adventures, you might find minerals such as crimson iron, which are veins of iron that have been overrun with corruption, spawning dangerous foes when you approach.
I fucking called it.
Or perhaps orichalcum, which you will have to liberate from the demons worshipping it. Petrified amber attracts mindless, blighted enemies, while bismuth has a strong affinity to the elements and causes the area to become unstable. If you're lucky, you might find vericium, a material as valuable as it is dangerous, and guarded by very powerful foes. Once you defeat these monsters, the deposit will automatically be tagged for mining. But first, we need to get someone to do the hard labor. This is of course a trade expedition and nothing is free. Miners, along with other workers that the Kalgurans have hired, must be paid in cold, hard gold, which you'll notice is now dropping throughout Rayclast. You will have control about who gets hired into your enterprise.
What's that flask?
Once you have accumulated some gold, head to the town and talk to the recruiter, Raoul.
I called it, you get golden map.
Hardy folk across Rayclast who are looking for work.
Oh, that's sick.
You'll notice each person has their specialties and a wage cost. It'll be up to you to hire and fire as you please. Over the course of the league, you'll be searching for your perfect employees for each job. Once you have them, you'll have to keep them paid, safe, and alive, which we'll get into later. Here we have a prospect who has a specialty in mining. We'll start with that so we can begin to retrieve some of those resources we were talking about. You hire earlier.
People to do. Oh, this is.
Let's go find some more.
Fuck, this is crazy.
Our miner to use. Oh, we've found a vein of orichalcum ore. It's guarded by dangerous demons worshipping a strange shrine. The shrine buffs the demons, giving them power, but once you defeat them, you can seize that power for yourself. After that, we can tag the ore, and our mining specialist will get to work. Soon, we encounter a few more deposits, each with a different dangerous encounter.
Oh, it's instant.
After you have tagged the mineral veins, your miners will get to work collecting resources in real time. They might take a while, but will continue whether you are logged in or not. The work can be sped up by hiring more or better miners, and by upgrading the mining station back in King's March to equip them with advanced pickaxes. Alright, some time has passed and our miners have been able to get the resources back to town. We've also managed to collect some more gold too. We can now upgrade the town and build new structures. There's plenty of options, we just need to decide where to start. I think we'll start with the tavern, the beating heart of King's March. It can be upgraded instantly to improve the recruiter's prospects. And you can find various important NPCs relaxing here. Next, we'll upgrade our mining station. You can upgrade this to improve the efficiency of your miners and allocate our newly hired workers to mining. You will eventually need a smelter, where you can send your ore to turn into more valuable bars. Then we have the disenchanter, where you can bring your magic, rare, or unique items to be added to a queue to be disenchanted over time. The items will be broken down into thaumaturgic dust, a new resource used for crafting and shipping. We'll get more into that later.
Shipping?
And of course, a town needs food. You could invest in farming, where you can select crops to grow and harvest. But don't worry, you won't be manually watering anything. The wonders of delegation. With all these resources piling up, there will be excess that we can spend. Let's talk about rewards in Settlers of Kalgur. Eventually, you can build a harbour and establish shipping routes between a number of different Kalguran and Karui ports for trade.
Boats!
You'll be able to pile your acquired resources onto these ships and send them to a port of your choosing, where your traders will haggle for the best deals. Each port will return specific rewards based on what you send them. They accept all types of resources, but will have a preferred type that they'll currently pay more for. And you'll want to get onto this, because eventually you could be bringing in shipments like this.
Oh.
This.
Oh my lord. 60 nobs. 60 nobs. Arms, gloves. Oh my god.
Today, we're going to trade with Kalgur.
What the fuck, that was a lot.
You'll notice that as we send more resources, this risk meter creeps up. Much like the dangers on the shores of Reclast, there are dangers out at sea. Monsters, pirates, environmental hazards. You'll want to try keep your shipment safe. You can do this by hiring workers that specialize in shipping. The more of them you add to the ship, the less risk there will be. Like this gentleman, who's famous for fending off even the most dangerous of pirates. Now let's get that shipment going, and we'll continue exploring Reclast while we wait for its return. This is the first Path of Exile League that experiments with true, real-time mechanics. You can send out shipments, go and have lunch, and come back to your rewards. Many mechanics in the League work this way, so you'll always have some ongoing project or outcome to look forward to. When your shipment has returned, or met its demise, you'll get notified, and at your leisure you can return to the town to collect your rewards. Our shipment returned safely, so let's go see what we got. Ooh, they've sent us a unique item alongside our rewards, perhaps hoping to secure us as a loyal customer for the future. Aside from shipping, the Kalgurans are big on their technology. They have hired Isla, a familiar face from the Heist League. She is an engineer who the Kalgurans have employed for a very exciting purpose. You're not the only one who understands how profitable running maps can be. Once at endgame, Isla can help you build a series of Kalguran-modified map devices. You can then put a queue of maps into
slaves?
them. If you've hired a few skilled Atlas runners, they will put themselves to work running those maps for you one after another. Look, more delegation.
Slaves?
Once again, you'll be notified when the rewards are ready to be collected.
What?
You can put lots of maps in the queue, so don't feel obliged to go back there all the time. Be careful though. The difficulty of the map impacts the risk of your workers perishing. Try to pick your best workers, or perhaps just ones you don't like. Consider the difficulty too. Sometimes it's better to just run it yourself. You'll see there are many benefits to having a whole ass town at your fingertips.
This sounds amazing.
Let's talk about crafting services. You should definitely consider building a runesmithing table. This is operated by Danig himself, using powerful Kalguran blacksmithing arts. He can engrave runic magic onto your weapons using runes. There are many rune types and combinations to choose from, and you can unlock new crafts that can be applied to your weapons as enchantments. Our design intention here is to take powerful effects you would usually only find on unique items, like this modifier, which you might recognize from Doomfletcher's Prism. Danig can apply it to your two-hand maces. There are over 100 different special crafting outcomes, ranging from ones very easily applied to very difficult. The rune types can be acquired through trade with Kalgur, or defeating powerful bosses. The Kalguran tech benefits don't end there. We're also bringing back a formerly overpowered crowd favorite, Recombination. Isla is trying to master this. She just needs you to help her with getting resources.
Jesus.
The system isn't as strong as it used to be, but it still allows you to combine two items together, hoping to get the best modifiers of each onto a single item.
What did you get?
Between running a town, shipping, and exploring, you'll be collecting a lot of extra gold. It is now the primary resource for two huge new quality of life features that we are putting to test. Firstly, you can use gold to respec passive points. This is a feature from Path of Exile 2 that we've decided just makes sense to port back.
Thank you.
The higher level you are, the more expensive it gets. And the next one is absolutely massive. A currency trade market. The Kalgurans have recruited Faustus, another NPC from the Heist League. He allows you to asynchronously buy and sell currency and most other stackable items with other players without the nuisance of, price fixes and people who never respond. All you need to do is select what currency you want, say what you have, and your ideal ratio. It works kinda like a real-life stock market. Faustus will make the trade happen for you, so long as there is someone selling on the other end for the same rate or less.
It literally
You'll be able to go back to blasting monsters
happened.
while trusty Faustus does the dirty work, notifying you when your currency is ready for collection. All you need to do is pay him a small amount of gold for his time. Cards on the table, this is an experiment to see if this type of asynchronous trading has a place in future Path of Exile releases.
It fucking
We're
happened.
very excited to see how it goes.
Holy shit.
Now, given that Faustus is an expert in black market trade and shady deals, he also
fucking
provides
happened.
another service, offering items for gold. The items will generate with random rarity, and on average,
Oh, that's
the modifiers
definitely
on
gonna
them
be
are considered
a
normal.
spreadsheet for this one.
This can be a very nice way to get some targeted items during the campaign.
Oh,
For serious crafters, it can be a great starting point for making those elusive, specific in-game items, which perhaps you could take to the runesmith afterwards. It's worth noting that you can invite Faustus to your hideout,
Thing
where he
addiction.
will always be available for respecking, currency exchange, and black market items. As your town grows, it will attract more attention, good and bad. Settlers of Kalgur features 3 endgame
I hate
bosses
it.
that will close in on your operations, wanting a piece of the pie. They might capture and ransom your workers, even your entire ships. You'll have to make some tough decisions. Will you take them on or pay them off? One example of a boss is Sasan, the Bandit Lord. You won't stumble across this boss by accident. Instead, this unsavory character can come into your town at night and take your Atlas runners hostage, holding them for ransom. What happens next is up to you. Perhaps you'll refuse to negotiate with bandits, leading to a fight to defeat Sasan and rescue your workers. If you're not up for the heroics, you might simply pay the ransom in gold. Or perhaps these workers were especially disappointing, and you'll just leave them for dead in true Ray class fashion. They knew what they were signing up for, right?
rip.
Of course, the heroics might be
Those
worth it
poor
for other
guys.
reasons. These bosses can drop new unique items.
Block spell damage.
In sum,
war-
Settlers of Kalgur is a very experimental league with new mechanics that will
We'll
completely
look
change
at
how
it
you
after.
play the core game. We've been sitting on a lot of these ideas for a while and can't wait to share them with you. But there's a lot more to this expansion. Let's talk about balance. Well,
Just wait, it gets
we've
exciting.
finally rebalanced the Gladiator. It's been a long time coming.
Finally.
Like before, there are passive skills that allow you to invest in bleeding and block. We've designed new skills replacing some of the old ones. Like this, War of Attrition, which is very handy for long sustained boss fights. Further alongside the Gladiator theme, this new passive allows you to combine different weapon types while dual wielding to get a variety of powerful bonuses. For example, holding a dagger will give you more critical strike chance, while holding a mace gives you more area of effect. Of course, you could just use Varanastra for all weapon type bonuses. And finally, we have a new notable which allows you to invest in the newly added Retaliation skills. These are active skills which require you to meet a certain condition in order to use them. Once you meet that condition, you can unleash devastation on your foes. Here we have Eviscerate, which requires you to have a shield. Or for those who like to dual wield, Sword Storm, which is great for obliterating bosses. Here we have the Divine Retribution skill. This one has the condition requiring you to block. You can then unleash a devastating spell, causing lightning bolts to strike the ground in an X shape around your target location. doing huge amounts of damage. And of course, in true Path of Exile fashion, there are many avenues to invest in these mechanics further on the passive tree
Oh,
and
this
a new
sounds so
support tree.
exciting.
You are able to increase the leeway duration
Oh
after
my
meeting the
God.
condition, reduce the cooldowns, or just increase their damage. The world's your oyster. The Gladiator wasn't the only Ascendancy class we've changed. As we develop Path of Exile systems, we often find ourselves reusing mechanics, increasing their depth, and allowing more avenues to invest into them.
Raider
As
rework?
such, the Raider Ascendancy class found itself lacking, with many of its passives commonly available elsewhere. We want our Ascendancy classes to always feel like they're pushing the boundaries, allowing you to change your character in ways that are meaningful and ideally unique. As a result, we've straight up removed the Raider, rest in peace.
What?
And we've added a new class in its place, the Warden. This class is largely inspired by its predecessor from the Affliction League, with a few changes. The Warden now focuses on elemental attacks, changing the behavior of Shock, enhancing Freeze, and replacing Ignite with Scorch. There's also a skill that allows you to go ballistic with your elemental damage, periodically. The class also grants Barkskin, which is a skill that can be used to mitigate physical damage from hits. After taking a number of hits, it increases your evasion, making it a great defensive choice. Finally, the last thing the Warden can specialize in is tinctures. These are an alternative to flasks from the Affliction League. We're bringing them back with adjusted mechanics.
This sounds interesting. Tinctures.
Tinctures can be placed in your belt,
They were
replacing
kind of
flasks.
OP.
You can inherently only have one tincture active at a time, and it requires a melee weapon to use. While activated, they grant a powerful buff. They can drop as magic items, or be modified with currency to grant extra bonuses. Here is a prismatic tincture. This one increases elemental damage by 100% while active. You'll notice it has two extra effects. One is that it applies mana burn every second. Mana burn is a debuff that builds up while tinctures are active that causes you to lose mana, losing more mana for each stack. Tinctures also have a cooldown, so once you have disabled one, no other tincture can be enabled for a time. These changes make tincture use a more active and interesting choice than it was in Affliction. Both mana burn and the cooldown can be modified through modifiers on the tinctures
Strike OP.
or on the passive skill tree. Players will want to
I love Wild
maximize their
Strike.
tincture uptime for sure. Here we have a couple other tinctures. The Poisonberry tincture is excellent for poison builds. The Rosethorn tincture is the choice for those wanting to deal critical strikes. You might be wondering, with the removal of the Raider, where has the Frenzy Charge investment gone? We've added a Frenzy Charge passive skill to the Deadeye, replacing the Rupture passive skill. On top of Ascendancy classes, we have revisited a number of core mechanics. This time taking pains to ensure easy access through the passive tree, skill gems, and simple
Did I
items.
zoom confirmed?
We don't want all the powerful mechanics to be hidden behind layers of complexity. Let's just rapid fire through the key points. If you want more detail later, you can read the patch notes, which will be dropped after the livestream. Be sure to let us know what you think. There's a lot of changes, so be prepared for a bit of a shock to the system. I expect it will take several days for the dust to settle on this one. Firstly, we've made some drastic alterations to melee skills. Let me just rip this band-aid off. Melee totem skill gems have been removed. We're trying to adopt a philosophy with melee going forward that, unlike other builds, it will be far less oriented around set and forget gameplay. You will deal the damage yourself, and you should be rewarded for doing so. To compensate, we have buffed the damage on almost every single melee skill. As the majority of this damage growth comes from gem levels, we have also made them cost more mana as they level, but it's nothing like the mana costs on spells. Here are some examples of the damage and costs before and after. Heavy Strike has gone from dealing 313% attack damage at gem level 20 to a massive 552% attack damage. It's also worth noting it no longer knocks enemies back. And Sweep has gone from dealing 281% attack damage to now dealing 664% attack damage at gem level 20.
What the?
These are just two examples, but
Christ.
the majority of melee skills are now dealing approximately 75% more damage at level 20. Of course,
It wasn't
with
even that
melee
bad.
comes close proximity combat, so you need some good defensive options. New base types with higher defensive values will now drop throughout the endgame. As you reach yellow, red, and purple maps, you can expect to find higher tier base types in each. For example, Val Regalia and Hubris Circlet
Okay, this is
are no
big.
longer the best in slot items for Energy Shield. There are new base types that surpass them.
Oh my god.
Combined with some quality
300?
changes, which we'll talk about soon, you can now get better items than ever before in these slots. To compensate, we have reduced the amount of flat evasion and armor from the Grace and Determination auras, but overall, you're getting more defenses
Auras,
than
Nick?
before. On top of this, we have buff life modifiers on
What?
magic and rare equipment. You can now get as high as 189 additional maximum life from a single modifier on body armors, and more on other slots too. Kalm's Heart has also finally been restored to its former glory and once
Yes!
again grants plus 1000 to maximum life. I mentioned quality. Quality on weapons and armors is being changed to apply multiplicatively. In other words, weapons with full quality will give 20% more physical damage, and armor with full quality will have 20% more local defenses. For melee, this will mean a damage increase for almost all builds using physical damage attacks, and it will mean more evasion, armor, energy shield, and ward for all builds. Endurance charges no longer grant elemental resistances, but instead grant additional elemental damage reduction, making it multiplicative with resistances. You can now get 4% per charge, alongside the existing 4% physical damage reduction.
That's
To compensate, we have made some changes to the Juggernaut, and various unique items like Eternal Damnation.
that's
You can
bloody
get
fucking
more
amazing.
maximum resistances from the tree, specifically around the Marauder class start.
Oh,
These of course
Righteous
can stack
Fireball
with
is
the new
heavy.
elemental mitigation from endurance charges.
Righteous Fireball boy is very happy.
On top of this, duels can now roll maximum elemental resistances as modifiers.
Oh my.
Since
Righteous
we're
Fireball
making
is
elemental
happy.
mitigation more accessible, we've heavily reduced accessibility to physical damage taken as chaos or elemental damage. Those stats are still around, but you should not expect to be getting full conversion anymore. All block passives have been buffed, so you can now more easily achieve block cap from just the passive tree.
Nice.
The Keystone Versatile Combatant has been improved to have less of a penalty to maximum block. A number of Life Leech passives have been buffed to generally allow for more acquisition of maximum leech rate for life. Vow Pact has been reinstated to its former glory for instant life leech, but only for melee. We've reworked Flesh and Stone.
Holy
Previously, this buff
shite.
skill granted Maim and Blind,
Oh my
depending
lord.
on the stance of our character. Now, while in Sand stance, the skill simply provides damage mitigation, becoming more effective the closer you are to enemies. While in Blood stance, enemies will take more physical damage the closer you are to them. This skill will now greatly favor melee or close range gameplay. Given we're doing a Kalgurin League, Ward has also received a bit of attention. There are new uniques that grant Ward, and the base restoration of Ward is now faster. To compensate, Olroth's Resolve has been nerfed, but Ward loop builds will still be possible. Anyway, that was most of the purely defensive changes. Now
This is
let's look
crazy.
at some of the offensive and utility-based ones. There are more and better ways to deal with mana as an attacker on the southern hemisphere of the passive tree.
Thank you. Aura?
Wands, daggers, scepters, claws, and staves now have higher critical strike chance values than ever. Wands can go as high as 10% without modifiers.
Holy shit.
Sandstorm Visage has been made rarer to compensate, instead of reducing its power. For you wand attackers, wands now have higher attack speed than ever to compensate for their low damage. Wand exclusive skills such as Power Siphon, Kinetic Bolt, and Kinetic Blast now have faster attack times.
Interesting.
Impale passives have been revised and in general buffed.
Splitting Steel
The
OP.
buffs granted by Warcries are now simpler but more significant, and more universal to builds. They also now apply to allies by default. Banners
Oh my
have
God.
been reworked. Instead of having a reservation cost, they are now free. However, they don't grant a permanent buff. Banners now need to be placed for the effect to be active. However, once placed, they are far more powerful than before. Additionally, there are new ways to prolong the effects and more ways to invest in
That's
them than
kinda
ever
if.
before.
But might be the new totems.
Rage has been made more fundamental and discoverable. Rage is now multiplicative attack damage, but no longer inherently grants attack speed or movement speed. It
More
has a new
attack
cap,
damage?
and you can find many new passive clusters that allow you to invest into the mechanic. The goal is to make Rage more powerful as a baseline, and less gated behind the use of specific unique items and ascendancy classes. Berserk has been nerfed, just so you're aware. We have changed how bleed works too. You can now find aggravated bleed on the passive tree. When applied, all bleeds on the enemy will deal damage as if the enemy is moving, for the remainder of their duration. The skill Ensnaring Arrow no longer interacts with bleed, so no more will you have to apply bleeds and swap to a bow. You can now achieve the same result using aggravated bleed passives without the annoyance. Rupture from
Thank
the
you.
Deadeye has been turned into a support gem. We've added the new Overexertion support gem, which highly favors slam builds.
Ooh, slam build confirmed.
Now,
Let's log in.
it's time to look at a hot topic, Magic Find. In the Settlers of Kalgur expansion, we are going to be removing item quantity bonuses from all character items. This will not affect existing items in standard leagues. Magic Find is intended to be another axis on your gear you can scale once you have achieved the power you want. With item quantity being only available on unique items, this meant if you wanted to get the most out of it, you had to be playing a very specific build. We still want people to be able to invest into Magic Find, but now only through item rarity. This can be obtained on a number of rare item slots and by a much larger number of builds.
I
What about
love
Ventor's
this.
Gamble, you might ask? Here it is now. This is one of the biggest balance patches we've ever done. I can't promise that existing builds will all be safe. Even we aren't able to predict all the outcomes here, nor have we even gone into every single change. Just the
Interesting.
major ones. I don't know, man. Balance is hard. But the sheer number of new, viable options is exciting, especially for melee. And we're determined to drag the game in a better direction. Be sure to read the patch notes after this, it's going to be a ruckus. In 3.24, we overhauled the in-game experience by introducing a new tier of maps and reworking scarabs. We want to continue to improve these systems and introduce more exciting in-game content every league.
Bloody love this so far.
3.25 is no exception. Let's check out the myriad of changes coming in Settlers of Kalgur. First up, we are changing many scarabs. We won't go into too much detail here to avoid getting lost in the weeds, but here's a few new ones. Be sure to check out the patch notes after this for more detail. We've also added an additional map device slot, which will be unlocked upon completing your first 10-way Maven encounter. This simply allows for more combinations of scarabs and maps, resulting in
That's
more
good.
difficulty and more rewards.
That's good.
This is
That's
on top
very
of the
good.
existing additional slot that can be unlocked by completing your first Tier 17 map. There are now 6 map device slots in total. You might have seen our teaser, where we revealed we'll be adding new special encounters to the endgame. One such encounter is the Nameless Seer, lurking in Tier 16 and 17 maps. This NPC will give you a selection of unique items, and you can pick one for free.
Never found him.
In Tier 16 maps, he now has an additional feature, where you can scry a map. This allows you to swap the divination card drops of the current map with another map on your atlas. Just one caveat, you cannot have the same map be in multiple swaps at the same time. If you want to undo your choice, you can use a scouring orb on either map on your atlas. We've also made some updates to a couple of leagues. Blight has been updated with some atlas passive skill changes,
Of the carry strand?
and double anointed amulets can now drop in Blight Ravaged maps. We've also introduced a new type of oil that can only drop from Blighted and Blight Ravaged maps. Ritual has also been
My
updated.
lord.
You can now find one new and many reworked base types, new unique items, corpses you can use to raise as specters,
Someone check
and
if
occasionally
Gassy
a
is
fragment,
breathing.
granting access to the King in the Mist's boss fight from the Affliction League. He will drop a number of unique items that were familiar from the League, but not that which was taken, as it is now that which was taken away. However, he now drops a different modular jewel that you might recognize from the Necropolis League.
Interesting. That's kind of cool.
In Tier 16 and Tier 17 maps, you can now encounter the Wildwood.
Wonder if you
also
can
from the
actually
Affliction
divine that
League.
jewel.
In case you missed it, the Wildwood is a mysterious forest fraught with danger. In the darkness, you will find magical wisps yearning for freedom. Upon releasing them, they will empower the monsters in your map, promising more danger but more rewards. You may also find random sentinels on the ground near the start of your maps, from the Sentinel League. They work in a similar way to before. They aren't items, but you can click on them and then they can be activated in that area at any time of your choosing.
Oh yeah.
Upon activation, they will buff monsters around you, increasing their difficulty and rewards. And here's one for those who like to live dangerously. You may occasionally find a reflective mist from the Kalandra League. It has two outcomes. It could drop a jewelry item with randomly enhanced or inverted modifier values, or it can give a reflecting mist item, which can be used on an existing piece of jewelry to perform the same action at a time of your choosing. Good luck! There's many other small changes to League
ultra
content.
battling.
We're removing the first 15 most boring waves of the simulacrum and rebalancing its rewards to improve the chances of finding unique jewels. We're also adding some of the beasts from Einhar's Memory of Harvest Beasts to the core pool. This includes the Black Morrigan.
Ah,
In other news, we've added a set of new chisel types, which can be applied
What?
to your maps to get different bonuses.
What?
While the Cartographer's Chisel still increases item quantity, there are new ones that now increase rarity, pack size, increased chance for currency items, divination cards, and scarabs. It's also worth mentioning that chisels now apply 20% quality per chisel to white maps, 10% to yellow maps, and 5% to red maps and higher. Unique maps still require the full 20 chisels. Also, only one type of chisel can be applied to a map
oh
at
my
a time.
bloody lord, that's gonna save a lot of chisels.
During 3.24, we made a change to Tier 17 maps that allowed them to be rerolled with Chaos Orbs. We are now expanding the currency types that can be used on them to also include currencies like chisels and Val Orbs. Ultimately, the only restriction Tier 17 maps now have is that explicit modifiers cannot be removed from them. We have also revised the difficulty of these maps, as they didn't quite hit the mark. The monsters in them now have substantially less life,
Oh, you
and
say
deal less
so.
damage, meaning Tier 17 maps now better fit into the progression between Pinnacle and Uber-Pinnacle content.
Thank you. Thank
Lastly,
you.
we've adjusted the drop rate of Valdo's puzzle boxes. Previously, we were adapting its drop rate based on the possible outcomes selected by supporters. So many supporters really wanted Mage Bloods, so the box was hardly dropping. Thus, we have drastically increased the drop rate of the box, but reduced the probability of getting chase unique items from it, like Mage Blood. Overall, we have
I like
taken
that.
care not to reduce the number of Mage Bloods total in the economy. we figured it was better to have more tickets for fun rather than barely seeing any boxes in a league.
Yeah.
We've been hard at work improving the Path of Exile experience on consoles. With native ports for the Xbox Series consoles already being released, and PS5 on the near horizon, the game now takes full advantage of the console hardware. Loading times have been reduced even further, pop-in has been reduced, and textures won't start unloading in heavy scenes. Furthermore, overall visual fidelity has been improved for all new generation consoles. Path of Exile now uses the highest available resolution textures and water effects. We've installed a new upscaling algorithm that improves the crispness of dynamic resolution, with an additional anti-aliasing path on top
Interesting,
of
they
that.
want to showcase this.
With these upgrades, we also support variable refresh rate TVs and monitors on PlayStation 5 and on all Xbox consoles. In the options, players can now choose which aspect of visual fidelity they want to focus on.
But-
Resolution, image quality, or target frame rate.
But
In 3.24, we added some new encounters and secrets to the campaign.
thank you.
In Settlers of Kalgur, we're adding even more. We're not going to spoil them all here, but keep an eye out for anything unfamiliar on your adventures. Who knows what you'll find? I mean, I know, but still. There's an underground bunker underneath the refinery, guarded by powerful robots. I wonder what's been hidden away here. How do I unlock this mysterious door? What riches must lay inside? Blighted growths have appeared in the gardens and sewers of Sarn. A vault containing riches can be found in the reliquary. As you might have seen in our teasers, there's a slew of quality of life features we've been working on.
Okay,
Here's
that's
a quick
interesting.
summary. You'll no longer need to interact with waypoints to unlock them. You can just walk by and they'll activate automatically. When using keyboard and mouse, you'll be able to pick up items from further away. We're adding static life bars to some bosses. Not all bosses will have them just yet, but we'll be adding more over time.
Thank you.
You can now see which divination cards drop in each map by hovering over them on your atlas. When you die, you can now resurrect without having to reactivate all your reservation effects, like auras and heralds.
This is one of the best
You can
things.
start harvest encounters with just a single action. The amount of quality provided by currency items like whetstones is now based on the item level, rather than item rarity. Those currencies now apply a 20% quality to very low level items, with that amount reducing as the item level increases.
That's gonna be so good.
Next up, we're going to be talking about our new League supporter packs.
Oh yeah, out with the wallet, boys.
Today, we're launching two new series of supporter packs, the Paladin and Penance packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. These packs are only available for the duration of the Settlers of Kalgur League, and will leave the store forever when it ends. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic, and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way.
Lies.
The Paladin series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
What? A rower
Adorn
race?
your weapon or shield with the Paladin weapon effect. Make a show of leveling up with the Harpy Flyover level up effect. Equipping the Divine Paladin armor set will periodically cause slain enemies to be consecrated and laid to rest. This set also comes with a matching back attachment. Both the helmet and back attachment have options to display the radiant glow, or not, you pick. The Divine Judgment finisher effect locks onto unique enemies before obliterating them with a laser from the heavens.
Oh,
May your critical hits resonate across Rayclast with the Cleric's Bell back attachment.
oh, that's gonna be
Invite your
stupid.
friends to spend a day at the races in the Vasteri Racecourse hideout. Add rowers to the track to race them against each other. Or you can just spectate from the sidelines.
Oh, that's
The
funny.
Penance Pack series also has 6 exclusive microtransactions. With the Penance back attachment equipped, a repentant soul is chained to your back and lashed with lightning. Ouch. Place none other than the Trial Master in your hideout and have him comment on your chaos
A classic, but far fairer now than in ancient times.
and Val crafting attempts.
Your luck is over, fool.
He even keeps a record of how many Chaos and Val orbs you've used in your hideout during the league, or across all leagues. Blood stains your armor the more life you lose when wearing the Acolyte's Penance armor set. The Zealot's Madness portal effect fragments as you near it. The Cauldron map device boils maps, fragments, and scarabs placed into it, keeping a tally of how many have been thrown into the pot in the current league or across all leagues.
Oh god.
The Exiled Squire pets follow in your footsteps,
Big life pool, Hillock.
hyping you up for battles,
No sweat for you, boss.
providing pessimistic commentary,
The cycle repeats.
or voicing their disdain for you to bring you down a peg.
About time you kicked the bucket.
These packs are now available for purchase on both PC and console, and
Oh,
will
that's
remain so
funny.
during Path of Exile, Settlers of Kalgur.
About time you kicked the bucket.
Meanwhile, the Solar and Eldritch packs leave the store forever at the launch of Settlers of Kalgur League. So now's your last chance to purchase them. Thank you so
I'd love the
much for your
turtle, but I
ongoing
can't
support.
afford it.
Now, we have one more thing to announce before getting into the Q&A. We are soon going to be running a small closed beta test for Path of Exile 2. We have been taking signups for the Path of Exile 2 beta tests over at pathofexile2.com. We will only be selecting a very limited number of people for this first test, but if you want to make sure that you are considered, then head over to the website and register your email address now.
Big.
We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, we'll post Path of Exile Settlers of Kalgur's full patch notes. With release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for Settlers of Kalgur's release. Keep an eye on the news. On release weekend, we expect to launch the new mystery box and this season's Kerax Vault Pass. Thanks for joining us today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to building our towns alongside you, trying new builds, slaying monsters, and exploring new in-game strategies next week. We'll begin the Q&A shortly, so please get your questions ready.
We almost made it, boys. Okay.
Good morning, Exiles. We are live from the Grinding Gear Games
There we go.
studios here in New Zealand. All three of us in person today for the first time ever for a very exciting,
volume?
massive
Hello?
Q&A after
Volume?
some real whiplash from some huge announcements there. It just kept going. Like, you guys just kind of got in a room together and set up the whiteboard and put everything on there, huh?
End of the day, really, it's we have this much time, we have this many people who can do what we do, and we just keep going till the end. Like, it doesn't stop here. Like, we've still got one more week, right? Like, there are still changes that can be made, so we're going to keep making them. So, but yeah, it's huge. It is absolutely massive.
Yeah, Jonathan was saying to me the other day, I don't think it's that big. And I was like, mate, that was crazy. It just kept going.
Yeah, I mean, I guess from my perspective, I kind of look at this and I'm like, okay.
And I'm going to turn on the light.
When I compare it to the amount of stuff that's being created for PoE 2, it seems small, but yeah, when you actually think about it, it's like, yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, making a whole new game there. But we are only talking about Path of Exile 1
For
today,
sure.
and you gave it plenty of space to shine. And we've got returning leagues, we've got a whole new league with a lot going on, and some very experimental content as well. And with all of that, you did tease us once again with the concept and potential of a boat league, and yet you sailed away and left us stranded on the dock once more. What gives?
It's very much not intentional. I suspect, and honestly, I honestly reckon if someone actually got a boat league, they wouldn't end up actually liking it. But we can only really prove that by testing it, and so maybe one day we'll get there. But until then, you're just going to there'll be boats, but you won't be on the boats. Maybe one day. We'll see.
All right. We'll have to keep dangling that just out of reach for us. So, does this feel like to you guys, and I've seen this theory floated around a lot, of a bit of a send-off league for Path of Exile 1, in a sense that we've got the Path of Exile 2 beta kind of just around the corner now?
I guess I don't really see it that way because, we intend to keep on making PoE 1 leagues. We're going to, it really is just, the standard lead cycle, it is hard as a studio making two things at the same time, for sure. But, that's something we just have to sort of get used to. And yeah, we certainly wouldn't want people to think, oh yeah, this is like the last PoE 1 league or something like that, right? It's definitely not the case. We're going to be continuing to make PoE 1 leagues, and, that like you should expect to see things of this size in the future as well.
So, Settlers of Kalgur, it adds gold, and I think we should touch on that and the whole currency exchange thing first. So it's obviously using gold for its features, its progression with the workers and upgrading buildings and things like that, but you're also experimenting with some core game features like respecs and a trading fee for the new currency exchange. Huge announcement there. So those that have been following
gonna be
Exile
big.
2 will be familiar with the
Holy
concept
shit.
of gold and why that's a thing that you might add to the game now after it's not had gold for so long. But could you explain what is the idea behind gold?
So really, gold is something that PoE 1 obviously never had. I think it's something that, in retrospect, I think that didn't help the game. The important thing with gold is that it's not used as a trading currency. Like, gold needs to be something that is only, it's bound to the individual character, and that means what it effectively is a measure of how much actual play that you've done, right, since you can't trade it between players. And that means that it's actually ends up being a perfect currency to be able to do something like gate the player-to-player trade with an automated system like that, because in order to be able to you can't just sit there flipping all day. You actually have to be able to go and play the game as well.
I am not going to Furycraft tonight. I'm going to look through the patch notes, and that's probably going to be it.
Auction house type systems that you see in other action RPGs, or at least that's the theory. But the thing is that
that's going to take a long time too.
And this is the reason why we're really keen to do it as a league mechanic to start with, to sort of see, is it going to work? Is the economy going to go weird? What's going to happen? That way we can kind of dip our toe in, see what happens. Test this, because the thing with this trade stuff is you really cannot test it, like in the office, right? Like it is simply we don't have thousands and thousands of people that you would need to be able to actually see how that goes. So on some level, we kind of need our community to see what happens with the economy to be able to test something like that, and that's just one of the few areas where that's like that. What we're hoping is that everything just goes fine. It's just way better. We can then immediately put it in the core game as soon as we've done with that, ideally without too many tweaks, and then that'll be good. But we really have to see by putting it in a league first.
The thing I really like about this gold idea is that it allows you to effectively be converting this idea of friction in the user experience of like physically trading friction into the actual gameplay,
right?
The stuff we like doing,
for sure. That really helps. And as I said, like this system, it'll be also really nice to be able to see how it works before we ship PoE 2 as well. It's really nice to to be able to do that. And,
testing
we may be able to
PoE
go
2
further than this. The intention is to go further, and so this is effectively our first the first part. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if you're going to know.
There is also one thing about this, and just because it maybe wasn't clear, is that despite being in the league, gold is just dropping as items from killing everything in the game. You kill monsters, you play the game, you're getting gold. You don't actually need to engage with the league to use the gambling, use the respecking, or use the currency exchange. So despite being in the league, and the gold is only dropping in the league due to us being more experimental with it and seeing how it goes, Like, if you don't like the league's mechanics, it's not like those are gated behind that as well. I just wanted to clarify that just in case anyone was like, thinking, I
so
don't want to.
You can just invite Faustus into your hideout and then just use him for that, and and that can be the only thing you do if you want.
So all that currency exchange, the item gambling and stuff is all like fully accessible, even if you basically don't do any of the other stuff.
For sure.
Which means, of course, if it is successful, it can port into the core game very, very easily. You just turn gold drops on, put Faustus in, done. I mean, there's a little bit more than that, but that's generally the summary of it. It doesn't have to come with the whole kind of city building element and all of that comes alongside it.
Yeah. So do you see it being something that's likely to stick around then, and that's kind of the intention?
That is certainly our intention. It's just that we want to be able to still have an out if things go horribly wrong, or if we feel like we need to change some stuff. So it is certainly our intention to keep it in if we can.
It's a nice little safety net at being part of the league for you then. Safety rip.
Probabilities are high, and I suspect also no one's going to let us remove it, right? So let's be realistic here.
It would have to go horrifically wrong for everyone to be like, okay, you were right, don't do this.
I
can't imagine. So there's also this gambling thing with Faustus where you can buy these un-ID'd items and actually look pretty powerful from what I saw. Like the items it was producing were like those really well rolled rares. What's the idea behind the gold-based gambles? Why is that a part of it?
Ultimately, it's a sink. You don't want gold to just be accumulated forever. But the awesome thing is that it's a way to target specific base types. And that's ultimately the luxury. So obviously when you're going through the campaign and you're looking for specific targeted gear upgrades, very useful for that.
Wording.
And it, as you get higher and higher level, I guess as you upgrade your tavern, I guess technically sort of, but also as you just get higher level, it upgrades the modifier tier rating, which was a term some people might not know, but it was used in Necropolis League, which effectively cuts off the bottom X tiers that can generate. So the items by endgame will be generating with a minimum tier higher than something, and thus they are pretty powerful items.
It's worth mentioning that there's quite a lot of changes in this league around the idea of how can we make rares more viable than uniques. Like quite a lot of the balance things are actually around this idea, and that extends to things like adding more base types higher up and so on to make it so that there's that they can compete with uniques more. The higher tier life mods, all of this sort of stuff, and the gambling and the ability to get rares this way as well is once again another part of this. So we really want to try and make it so that and the reason why that's important is because if like Mark said in the video with the item quants problem as well, that was one of the other things that sort of meant that you had to be tied to specific uniques for sure, and so we just wanted to remove more of the barriers that allow people to just be able to use rares, and then that opens up for more different build types, if less uniques become mandatory, that's as I said, it's just another one of those things that kind of affects that.
So with that being an attractive expenditure of gold, how much do you want players to be able to trade currency freely between each other with this very fast and asynchronous currency exchange system? Obviously, gold is your ability to control how much of that's happening in terms of volume. How liquid do you want any currency orb drop to be? So
for currency in particular, we're fine with a very high amount of liquidity. Later on, we've talked about how in PoE 2 we're going to be doing asynchronous trade for items as well. For that, we need to have a bit less liquidity, and the reason why is because currency can sync itself, there is its own currency sync. So effectively, that means that we don't have to worry too much about fast trade there. The relative value should establish, and everything should be okay, and it shouldn't matter too much about that being highly liquid. That said, there is still a gold price to do it because we don't want people literally just sitting there just doing only that forever. But that this is something that we don't want to. It certainly should feel like if you're just playing regularly, that you can get all the currency you want from the trade market and you don't feel restricted by the gold price. It's not intended to be something that a normal player would run into, assuming that they're just doing normal things with currency.
Of course, it is still meant to have high friction early game.
Because you don't want
to demean the leveling experience and the new player experience where they think the right answer is to go and just trade all of the stuff away. You want it to be that you're more finding items there and getting things organically, and only later in the game does it become.
So the gold prices later in the game are not a roadblock at all. The gold prices early in the game are a roadblock. So that's kind of preventing that early game kind of issue.
Because you want an alch when you're leveling your first character.
You do
to feel like an alch.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to be like,
you don't
this
want
should
to
be chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. But that honestly sounds like a relief that you're not worried about that sort of thing too much, because that kind of incentive to hoard currency and not spend it all while leveling is always a bit of a bummer.
Right.
This feels like a bit of a momentous occasion, the the currency exchange. This because you've had this whole system of like the currency that syncs itself and stuff for so long, and now finally blending that with gold and this system, huge.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's also just a mental block as well, right? Because it's like, how can you add gold to PoE? It's like, it's just one of those. It's one of those things. So
this was one of the key components that was part of like designing the league. It was largely like how we started from that point. Because again, when you ask most people in the office, most players in the office and outside the office, what is the like number one problem with Path of Exile? And what experience gives them the most negative reaction?
Trade.
It's often trade.
Yep.
And especially, and I can't remember if it was last league or the league before. And I was trying to buy, what was I trying to buy on the currency? It was like one of the catalysts. I was like, okay, I just need a catalyst up my rings and ammo.
Oh man.
And you get 100 people on the trade website.
Yep.
I just went spam. I got 100 people. And guess how many replied? Zero people replied to me. Now I know you're meant to scroll down because all the top people are just bad actors. And then it's like, okay, I actually got to a point where I was like, okay, genuinely no one replied. And then like so I was just like on Discord, I was like, yo, I need some help buying these things. Can everyone just start messaging everyone trying to get these catalysts for me, please? And so yes, it is actually one of, or was hopefully to be no longer soon, the most frustrating experience you can have as a player at endgame.
It was something else.
And yes, so when we're designing the league, we're like, okay, if this is the number one problem, how are we not taking some sort of stride to solve it? And so that's kind of where, well, it almost acted as the basis of how can we build something around that, because then it's gold, and then it's like, what can you do with gold? And then we just extrapolated from there into all kinds of things. So yeah, I like that a lot of what we're developing now is coming from a how can we solve actual problems first, as opposed to just, as opposed to entirely like how can we add cool content. It's like how can we do both of these things at the same time. And I feel like a lot of what's going on in this patch is with that philosophy, as opposed to just here's cool stuff. It's solving problems and adding cool stuff at the same time.
I love this trend of you just doing the thing we do and being like, this is awful, just like you said.
Actually awful. Like I tried to, in that live stream, I tried to voice my disgust at when I talked about price fixes and people who don't reply. But like, if you had got my actual emotional reaction, I would have probably been screaming a little bit and raging like a little bit more. Yeah, most infuriating thing. And it was one of the things that ground me down last league that stopped me from enjoying as much as I could. So it's huge, and it really pairs in with like the Scarab changes and stuff recently as well.
No good.
We'll talk more about
with
that
the
later.
trade.
But
I'm so happy with
currency exchange includes fragments, scarabs, anything that's homogenized.
Exactly, that's the word.
Right.
So yeah, so obviously it can't work with things like maps and so on, because they don't, they're not all identical. It's just anything that where they're exactly the same. No one item can be distinguished from another.
It has to be able to stack, is ultimately the goal, So yes, use the existing trade system for the things that can't. So that's like beasts can't be, maps can't be, incubators can't be because they have a level, things like that. They can't because they cannot guaranteed stack on a single thing. And it's not like you don't want to have a tab of incubators where it's got every incubator level 1, every incubator level 2, every incubator level 3, in this giant mega eternal list. So things like that you'll be trading using the existing way, and all stackables you'll trade hopefully using the new way.
All right. But
div cards?
Yes, div cards are in there. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh
Anything that is stackable, there's
just so many of them, that's all.
Anything that's stackable and has no other variable. Yep.
Wow. And you were telling me that like it will list like the 13 most common trade pairs for each item, and
so this is the thing, because with this trade system you can technically trade any item for any other item, because that's how PoE works. So we have to have some kind of way to basically tell players, okay, so here's the actual thing that like people are trading this with. So effectively, unless you're the first person ever to trade something, then it's going to say like, here's the most popular several things that people trade.
That's good.
Trade for this in. It also shows you like the market price, obviously, for what's been going on, as well as okay, so we're getting into stock market terms here. But the first five price levels in the order book. So that's to say, you can see like what the how many things are available at a few different price levels, and that will allow you to do your trade. So I suppose some people will be learning more about the stock market pretty soon.
Yep.
I guess we'll have
some people are going to love that.
Yeah, for sure. But one thing just to make sure people understand is like this is still player to player trade. Like you don't know who you're trading with, and like it will be instant if there's like liquidity in the market, but it is coming from someone else's actual stash.
Yeah, it's a physical trade still.
Yeah. So just that's worth being, because some people when they see the video, they're like, oh, okay, it's just like you're trading with the system somehow, or there's some kind of like market thing with the system like determines a price or something. No, it's not that. You're actually buying off someone else. So any trade you do where you've got like I'm buying this, I'm selling this, someone else has entered a trade on the other end of I'm selling this, I'm buying that.
And the prices are all set by players. That's you guys setting that stuff.
Exactly.
There's a few other things I'll just mention as well that are adjacent or that got implemented as a result. So like when you're adding them, it will pull from your stashes. You don't have to move everything to your inventory first and then do it. So you can, because if people might be wondering, okay, if I want to sell or trade away 5,000 chaos or some number of chaos that won't fit in their inventory, as long as it is in their stash, you can do it. You can do up to 65,000 of a given currency in a single exchange. If you have that much. What else? There are shortcut binds for moving all of them to your inventory, so you don't have to like control click spam 1,000 times. It is, I believe, control right click will move all of them to your inventory. And also as a bonus, we have implemented that to and from the stash with all stackables as well. So you can control right click on a thing in your inventory to move all of that type into your stash, and vice versa.
My 35-year-old hands are falling apart. Thank you.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Best change. Very good. So if this is successful, do you see it being something you expand to being able to do other things that aren't homogenous, so maps and gear and things like that?
Well, that's certainly the plan for PoE 2, and it would be nice to be able to do that in PoE 1 as well. We just have to work out how it can work exactly. So
this is getting
I believe that we will get there, and that's certainly our intention. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's the intention. Like this part, I think though is like solving quite a large amount of the problem, because I think this is the currency is what you're doing all the time. You need that to be easy. So like we figured that we needed to get this part out there first.
Yeah, historic for the first time ever. That's been we want to do this unless something goes wrong.
Yeah.
Amazing. Perfect. All right, well, we'll leave the currency exchange there. Thanks for the extra insight on that. Did you have to resist the temptation to go like full candle graphs and all that stuff?
I'm sure at some point. I'm sure at some point this will start to happen. We'll have community like websites of like all the technical plugins, indicators and like all that sort of stuff.
Mad Money YouTube channel. Yeah.
It is worth noting also on the currency exchange, I will be posting a video on Monday just for anyone who's unclear, or Monday or Tuesday, New Zealand, for anyone who's unclear on how it works. It's a little bit of a like currency market for dummies kind of thing. It's just goes over the basics and hopefully, it's room for either feedback on UX if they see anything that wants to change, or of course just better understanding of how to use it. It is very easy for someone to get very scared looking at it and go, I don't quite know what to do. But it is pretty straightforward. You just, it can be easy to fare yourself out of buying or selling stuff, because you may be like, I don't know what the best ratio is, and it provides all that stuff for you. It's pretty straightforward, but still, so hence putting out a video to try and help people out, in terms of understanding when they're going into it, and
that's going to be so good.
We'll see how it goes.
Mate, I'm definitely signing up for your trading tips newsletter. Can't wait.
My trading tips currently is like spam everyone and get really angry, so hopefully it's no longer that afterwards.
That's all of our strategy currently. Excellent. So returning to Settlers of Kalgur, how did this very cozy concept for the Settlers come about, of this town building thing?
Well, I know what you pitched me on first was Pal World League. That was the first pitch I got.
I remember your initial response, I think, was, what? Hold on, that could mean many things. Does that mean we have guns? And I was like, well,
Catch,
maybe.
like,
I mean,
Pokemon things.
you know.
Yeah, so it kind of like it moved around a little bit from the initial pitch. I know, like, 'cause I mean, the first pitch was definitely too complicated with all sorts of like, it had like way more stages of different products and all sorts of stuff going on. Like, it was pretty crazy, and so it kind of got put into a more sort of like PoE applicable like way. But yeah, that was the initial one at least. But I don't know if you've got a
Yeah, it was coming from, again, the philosophy of wanting to solve problems. So I wrote down all the problems, and I was like, how can we solve all these problems? And it was like, well, if you had an NPC for each, and then it's like an NPC, well, that would mean a town for each, and then you want to make some game mechanic out of it, so you have some level of automation and stuff like that. And yes, there was a very, very, very long list at the start, and we ended up just refining it down to like, here are the actual important things that we can do and want to do. But yeah, and then obviously how the rest of it came about, the coziness and using Kalgur and all of that stuff, ultimately just comes from the fact that it's like, well, one thing that takes a long time in development, like a very, very long time, is art, right? It takes a long time. You got your concept, you got research, you got, you know, all the way through to the actual modeling and everything. It is a long process. So all of a sudden when you can be like, well, we've got all this art from this other game here.
Andy.
Yeah. So we actually thought it would be pretty cool, basically, because in Act 4 and PoE 2, we've got this whole thing of like the Kalguran making a settlement on Rayclast. We thought it would be just cool to sort of tell that story of how that happened here, and we've got some of the stuff like, it would be quite nice to do that. That's kind of ended up how that being. But the theme that we got there came after the initial concept of we want to make some kind of settlement town thing, and we're like, okay, what can we do with that? And then we realized, hey, like we've already got this sort of storyline we've got going on here in PoE 2, might as well connect it up and kind of have like an interesting thing there.
It definitely feels like increasing the scope of the world a little bit, because this is a distant civilization 1,500 kilometers away. I saw on the map, and those are people who have not been involved in the storyline of PoE 1. So this is a new expansion there. World-wise.
I mean, they always sort of technically existed. Like there was lore written for that when we did the previous expansion with them, Expedition. But like in PoE 2 we kind of expanded on that because we had that location and everything, and so we that just meant that we've got the stuff, and I think it adds a little bit to the flavor to have to do that sort of stuff.
But yeah, it is very, very rare for us to go to talk about or go outside of Rayclast ever.
Yeah, there's presumably a whole world out there, but we've not really heard too much about it, right?
Well, it's not just like, here's a planet of water with this like tiny little island, right? Like
the Star Wars planets.
So
all just one thing.
What we're saying is Boat League is possible. It's not like it's just land
everywhere.
Damn, that was a good. I could have used that as an excuse for no Boat League, was to have it. No, aside from this little bit of water, there's just land. The rest of it,
Yeah, you've already dropped the ball on that one. There's a few boats already.
Damn it, there's lots of water.
All right.
Yeah.
So this idea of this is very much like a meta progression league, right? Like, and that's not a new concept. The idea of like a league having its own sort of progression outside of your personal character progression, but this is definitely the main flavor here. It feels. Is this something you specifically wanted to give players, like a greater context for their things that they're doing? So they're doing their Atlas, but they're getting golden resources and progressing this whole other thing.
I mean, for sure, but I will mention that, like, I guess it wasn't dwelled on a lot in the video, but like the resource gathering thing, like those encounters are encounters that you're going to be encountering through the world, and they have their own mechanics and stuff, which obviously Mark can talk more about. So like that is definitely like content there as well. It's just that like it's kind of not as easy to show. Like we kind of needed to show about all this sort of town stuff, but those encounters will hopefully be very enjoyable as well, and that's kind of like I suppose you could call that the meat and potatoes in some sense of the league, because that's what you'll be doing. Every area you're going to find these things and have to do those encounters. So.
Yeah. So what's that content like in Maps then?
Yeah. So you got one in every area. Well, aside from something like Tidal Island and some of that stuff, you got one in every area minimum. So it's 1 to 2, and there are 5 different outcomes. Kind of 6, but we'll go over the 5 and so you can find different minerals. So the first is Crimson Iron. Crimson Iron is like iron that's overrun with like corruption. So you have these 3, 2 to 5, as it goes up as you go through the game, of these kind of growth spawners, and they're spawning demons or monsters. And then as you kill each growth, the other growths heal, like surge, spawn more monsters, and they accelerate. So they get slightly harder over time. So it's just a full monster encounter. Upon completing it, you get the ore. You've got Orichalcum, which is like guarded by these also demons, or demons were worshipping it. And you notice it had like a shrine icon. So after you kill all the demons, you get the shrine buff, which is, without immediately it sounding underwhelming, the old you had the old like shock, where you got the shock nova and firestorm shrines, except like done actual damage. So like all of a sudden you've got meteors and lightning storms raining down around you, and they are actually designed to kind of destroy monsters. So you get just this spike of power where you can kind of just run through and let them just obliterate everything. The third is petrified amber, which is looks like a little kind of like a tree thing, and clicking it, and all of a sudden heaps of blight-esque monsters kind of come out of the ground and try and attack it. And it's almost like the old Aurion missions from way back, where you just have to protect this tree from the blighted monsters. It's not very difficult. Like, none of these are pitched to be very, very difficult, but they are going up in difficulty in the order that I am explaining them. The fourth is bismuth, which I suspect will be people's favorite. The way this works is it's guarded by magic and rare monsters. I think 3 packs. I think 1 is rare. Well, maybe early game not rare, but later game it's like 1 is rare, 2 are magic. And they have an extra elemental modifier on them. Like the rare and magic mods, they just got an extra one that's elemental aligned. And when you obviously kill them, there's some free 3 packs of monsters. No one's going to complain about that. You click the bismuth, it releases the elements into the rest of the area, which will apply elemental modifiers to all magic and rare packs in the area. League monsters have a lower chance of getting them, so it's not too out of control. And that does come with the difficulty, but it also comes with the increased item quantity and rarity that
It's a bit Wildwood,
the mods come with.
it?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Obviously, it doesn't spawn frequently enough, so I don't expect people to do the whole, run around the whole area killing nothing before clicking it.
Yeah, nice.
You'd be wasting all of your time. However, of course, I can imagine it is the Magic Finder's dream, even though Magic Finding is nerfed, but whatever, that's a different thing. It is the current, whatever is to be Magic Finder's dream.
Magic Find's buff because it's better now, because you don't have to wear crappy gear.
Well, sure. Well, yeah, sure. Whatever state it's in, or however you feel about it, it is the dream for that person, because obviously you can find I believe you can find 2 of them in an area, and all of a sudden you're doubling up on that. I will obviously double check that, but that was definitely the intention. And then, you're getting like these kind of elemental tornadoes spawn throughout the level. Obviously, they don't spawn when all the monsters are dead, so you're not just like losing and getting killed by a random tornado. And then the 5th encounter is Verisium, which is the thing that the Calgarians love so much. And that very much is... it's like the encounter from Crucible, where it's just like... interact with this rock, and it like builds up the amount of Verisium and like spawns all the monsters around it, and then you fight them and kill them, and you get the Verisium at the end, and the monsters, you can see them kind of merging and upgrading over time. And so it's a little bit of a pick your own difficulty. Obviously, it doesn't have the whole, I talk about Crucible, it doesn't have the whole weapon tree ruckus going on and having to put an item in there and all that. It's just, here's your encounter. And then, of course, there is one boss as well, so occasionally you find a kind of hollow in the ground.
One boss.
Yep.
Okay.
It's in-game, very much in-game. Quite difficult, and he is guarding a lot of Verisium, and also, again, can drop a unique, and I'm pretty sure all those bosses drop a pretty substantial amount of gold as well.
So you've kind of got like 5 micro league mechanics kind of just there also, like on top of all that stuff. But as I said, it wasn't really covered like that extensively in the video. So I guess that was something that people, like that's your kind of like main combat stuff that you're kind of doing, that's in area.
And you've got the bosses like attacking your town and boats.
There's a couple of things
too.
like that. So there's kind of other things. So there's actually a lot going on with that, that more so than what was kind of explained.
But all that to say, there's a lot of words to say that it seems like a classic fight monster in circle.
For sure.
Fight monster in circle.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, it's 2, 3, 5. So 4 encounters fight monsters in circle, and 1 is fight monsters in whole area.
Perfect.
Yeah,
those are everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
So even if you're not that into the meta progression side of things, it's still a fight monster in circle there you get your hands.
Yes, of course.
Good. It all comes back to that.
It is expected, and again, there's no real harm in like just doing that for as long as you want, accumulating as much gold as you want, and then if you want to engage with the town later or something, that's always something you can do. End of the day, the gold is going to be your primary restriction, so being able to just farm for ages and get a whole bunch of gold isn't going to like, and while not necessarily engaging with the town, is not going to set you back that far.
Yeah, this is very much a take it at your own leisure.
100%, 100%,
and
yes.
That touches on the next question, and the one that when I watched it, I was like, this is the thing people might be most concerned about, is the somewhat controversial area of game design, timers, right?
Yep,
so we worried that this would give people ick because they just have that around timers.
I can see what you mean, and like that was honestly when I was talking to Mark about like, what's the thing that's going to be the controversial thing about the league. That was certainly up there. One thing that we're wanting to make sure that's really clear though is that you can stack a lot of work like on like in your town that can be done in a queue without you having to come back. So it's not like you have to come back every freaking hour to like check on anything, right? Like you can queue days of work and like if you're doing like your map runners, for example, like you've got your big queue there that you can do, and then like you can just come back and then they've done all the maps, you get all the loot from all of them.
So you can just log in when you normally log in.
It also doesn't mean it's so long. Like there's these sweet spots in time that we've really aimed for, right? Anything too short, highly annoying. And then anything too long feels like a mobile game. Right? So we have this kind of sweet spots for a lot of them where it's like for example, you have your queue of maps, but I think, I will note, like I'm going to say some times, but it is like highly variable, and you have the agency based on how much gold you have, the skilled workers you have. You can get these things pretty damn quick. You can, but you can also have them take a bit longer, and it's not necessarily the right or wrong answer to go either way. So if you want faster turnaround on your rewards, you do have some agency on that. It'll just cost more gold to do so. And if you want to have like a slower turnaround, like and focus your gold somewhere else, that is entirely up to you if you want to do that. So it's got a lot of agency. However, like we have been experimenting with numbers like a lot. It has been discussed constantly. And for example, with the shipping, you had the port of Calgary. That's the one that has the longest distance, or the 1,500 kilometers. That does take the longest. And I currently believe it's like, towards even 10 hours. But there are ones that are going to take less than 1 hour. And now there are advantages, like a longer shipment will yield better rewards and have higher risk and different rewards. Each port has different unique rewards, and a closer one, but it's not like such a differential that you're always going to do. Well, it's hard for me to predict exactly what players will think that is the best answer, but it shouldn't be the case that you're always doing the thing that takes you feel like you have to do the thing that takes like 10 hours. So there's lots of quick things, lots of long things, and it's kind of up to you how you want to engage with that. And I think that's honestly what mostly differentiates a lot of this, aside with the fact it's also gated by gold, which requires you to actually play the game. It's not like it's just some AFK town. At the end of the day, you have to be playing in order to actually achieve this, killing monsters, looting loot. So there's heaps of stuff there, but we have aimed for that exact sweet spot such that if you are playing, it's not highly annoying, and also not like I never get my rewards. Like it's going to be pretty bad if you're like, I'm level let's say you're in Act 1 and you unlock your shipping and you send your shipping and you're like, okay, I'm not going to get that back till I'm level 80.
The ritual problem.
That's just terrible, right? So yes, there are very quick turnarounds as well. For things like that, and then there are longer turnarounds when you're willing to spend that time to do so. And noting there are 3 ships, you could send one to a far port and then one to a close port, so you can get some ships turning around with high frequency and another turning around with a longer frequency. And then same with the mapping, it's entirely based on the difficulty of the maps, and again how skilled your runners are. So if you want to have higher turnarounds as well, you can put in either easier maps, lower tier maps, or you can put in more difficult maps. Now, I did note in the live stream, the timer on the mining was before we had done any iteration, so I'm pretty sure it had some real absurd amount of time to mine that ore. That was just a straight mistake. It does not take that long. It is much, much, much quicker.
It's also worth mentioning with the stuff is that, like as I was saying with the queues, like, okay, you can just put as many, like when you find resources and there's that sort of mining queue, it's not like you have to like manually reassign your things every time. Like they just move on to the next task.
Yeah.
So effectively what that means is that you're not having to come back every and refresh them. You just play and then the only stuff you have to come back, anything where you'd have to come back and reset them, like for example with the mapping, the queue is long enough that you can just like jam a bunch of stuff in there. And then like what I don't want is you to feel like you have to like wake up in the middle of the night and like freaking put more stuff in there and then come back. That's what I want to avoid. Like it should be that you're still coming back at the normal time that you would play. like
Okay,
that
that's
is our
good.
design intent. And so if that's not, like we need to make sure that we're balancing it correctly so that that's the case. That you don't feel pressured to like log in at some time you wouldn't normally do it.
Yeah, this sort of thing can be fun because it's like you get to come back to rewards and and progress, and everybody loves progress and progression, right?
For sure.
We're addicts for that stuff. That's why we play this genre. But I was definitely concerned about that idea that would have to, I feel like if I didn't get on in half an hour after I was planning on logging off, I wouldn't be able to reallocate my workers.
Right.
But you don't have. It just does.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
Well, yeah, we're not making a mobile game here. I know that's the
and you can't pay to skip
association.
any of these timers.
Of course not. And I'm not going to also at one point. I know. Look, these things are always going to be divisive. They're not necessarily going to be globally loved. And part of it is just you're going to have to try it to understand. That the concept of a timer is scary to start with. But I'm also, on the other hand, not going to sit here about complaining about the cold currency thing and then also implement something that, on the other hand, I'm going to have equal levels of frustration with myself as a player. Surprisingly, but. You
want to play this after all, don't you?
100. Of course, I want to play it. I'm never going to make a game I don't want to play. So yeah, my hope is, but of course that assumes we get it right. The good thing is we're very, very fast to react to this stuff. So if the timers are tilted one way or another, we have so many levers we can adjust to rebalance. It is, of course, we get our internal feedback, we get our alpha feedback on the times, but that's still a very small subset compared to everyone. So I could expect, if things aren't right, if they're off, if something is taking too long or too short, or there's not enough agency, we're very, very quick to be flexible to that stuff and react to it if we have to. But yeah, it's interesting and it's new for damn sure. But I'd say I'm more on definitely on the side of excited over worried.
Good.
But there's always a little bit of worry there. It comes with the job, and
I like that you guys are still trying new things. Whether they work out or not.
100%. A large part of what we always try and do is push the boundary, right? Like just doing the safe thing over and over and over again can make things feel quite stale. So we definitely want to take risks and see where they go and see how they evolve, and because ultimately I believe that makes the best game possible for sure.
Keep trying it. One more quick nuance about that is the progress on timers and things, that's all even online versus offline?
Yeah.
Okay, so whether you're you don't have to stay logged in, online to speed things up. No. Good stuff.
The only things that can happen that disrupt it, which is obviously if your map, if your ship gets commandeered, it can get commandeered offline or online, right? So it can stop it. It isn't something that happens ultra frequently, and you can avoid it. You can get it to the point where a commandeering will not occur, and the same with your Atlas runners being kidnapped. That can occur online or offline, but again, it is avoidable. It doesn't have to happen. If you can get good enough people and run slightly easier content, and all of a sudden there's no risk of your Atlas runners failing or anything like that.
Yeah. Speaking of risk, so how does this scale with map tiers and map effect and stuff like that? So as you move up through maps, do you get more resources, more gold? Does it scale with map quantity? So your mods.
Yep.
Gold.
So gold scales with everything that drops would scale with. In party, I get my gold, you get your gold. We cannot share gold. Obviously, there's no point in having it if you can't trade it. Then all of a sudden, items do not sell for gold, so it's not like you can trade items to bypass that. But everything, item map quantity scales gold. Yep, all the same. It's auto pickup, obviously. With obviously the new enhanced item pickup radius, and the amount of ore also should scale with quantity. Yes, obviously, much like sulfite, I guess, from Delve. That's probably one of the closest comparisons in terms of giving you a resource.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it seemed like mostly gold was used to upgrade the buildings and things like that in your town, and that sort of progress is mostly through that. So the resources are all for this shipping, to get this risk reward system, to get currency and gear and stuff like that. And the multiple pages of currency thing, that looked a bit crazy. Is that for real? How much work is getting 3 pages of chaos orbs and divines and stuff?
Well, that's that agency I'm talking about as well, where a long trip should yield a lot of loot. Now, we have made some changes since then where what we're doing is instead of because we were scaling rewards on quite a quantitative axis, and we've moved a lot of that into more qualitative, so that like instead of getting so much more currency linearly, you're getting better currency instead of more, just so it's less of that.
Alts roll up into chaos and whatnot.
Yeah, if you save up, like you can just be like, I'm just going to play, get all the gold and acquire as many resources as I can and send a shipment that's like maxed out in value, and then put the best possible ship workers on there because you don't want to lose that shipment, I'll tell you that, and send it to the farthest thing. Like you'll get back a ton of loot, but of course you have to. You're now getting 1 week of loot all in one go. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, okay.
you will get an absolute ton, which some people will find ultra satisfying.
Yeah.
But yes, we are trying to not. Obviously, it shouldn't be that you're just getting 50 pages of items, but you'll get some amount, and ideally the quality of the items get better as you send more, as opposed to just the quantity. Yeah.
I saw a question in chat as well. The wages, like, how does that work with when's that getting paid? Like, do you get overdrafted account fees? Like, what are we dealing with here?
So you have to take so you've got your personal gold, and then there's a treasury, and you want to put the gold into the treasury, and the wages only take from the treasury. And the reason for that is so that you're not like just randomly losing your gold, that you're like, okay, I'm going to get to 60,000 so I can buy these items. And all of a sudden it's just like draining it, and you like can't figure out. So your wages are paid from the treasury. You can do this via Johan or via the village map. There's you hit add, drag, set an amount, hit add.
Interesting.
And yeah, they are just continuously drained from that. So it's not like it doesn't really come in chunks. It's like continuously going.
And do they unionize if you don't put enough money in there, or?
Not in Rayclast, no.
No worker protection in Rayclast.
All of a sudden you might find you're collaborating with those pirates and with those bandits, and like, arranging you're arranging them to come in and kidnap people more often, and you had that abandon option we saw because those workers were
nice.
No, they don't. It's all very much we're all achieving the same goal, I guess, on the same team, but they just want their money. That's fine.
Yes, the children yearn for the mines. So I cracked up when I saw the map running teams auto simulating map thing.
Yeah.
So do they actually simulate running the map? Do they like actually run the map for you and get the things out of it you would get out of it?
We've tried very hard to make it feel like the case. However, of course, like, you don't simulate actually every single monster dying. It's too expensive, right?
Extrapolated
but
simulation.
you effectively take here's what you'd have, and then you have, I mean, here's the question: do you trust the workers to pick up the right items? Because like, what if it's like you like get back your items and you're like, damn it, I know you left a mage blood on the ground. I just know you did. But yeah, anyway, you're not going to think about that, obviously. I mean, you can if you want, but yes, you do get it back. So if you send them to, I can't remember which maps. We've shuffled all the div cards around, so I'm not sure which maps drop what.
Now we can too.
Whatever one drops mage blood, if you put that base type in, the mage blood card, you will get that card out. That is the way to get that. Of course, generally people like running that themselves. So,
and you're telling me that like if it's a Hydra map, they'll bring a Hydra fragment back for you.
Yep, if you put in a Hydra map and they clear it successfully, it's worth noting they have a percentage amount of clear. And you can get that as high as you possibly can, but sometimes they get through like 50% of it and die because you put the map in as too hard.
Yeah,
you'll get 50% of the items.
Burning 6 portals halfway through a Hydra map.
Yeah. Some of if you're not sending elite people, they're kind of bad.
There's different quality of map runners, just as there is in Path of Exile players.
I mean, if you're sending your miners into the mapping, they don't know what to do. They're just like, I've tried mining the monsters and I failed
on the first pack.
Yeah. But yeah, they'll bring that back. You chuck in a map with 5 delirium orbs, they'll probably all die. But if they don't, they'll bring you back some splinters and some delirium rewards.
So what's like the most sketch, like juiced up map that they can run here if you get the best of the best?
I mean, the same as the player, right? A fully a prop corrupted T17 with whatever else is bloody on it. I mean or 16. Right. I mean, they might get. Sometimes you actually it's not mistake proof. You can put it in and it can be like they have a 1% chance of 1% of the map will be
Good luck,
cleared.
guys.
And you put it in and you see the timer count down like 2 seconds and then they fail and you're like, oh, they just
6
died.
portals gone in 2 seconds.
They just died to the first monster.
Damn, that's almost as bad as me.
So yeah, you don't want to do that. But I mean, you technically can. You can just send them to die. Now they don't. In that case, they don't actually permanently die. That can happen. And you actually can lose the worker.
Oh, wow.
There is a sync on that, so you are constantly trying to find more, but it doesn't happen that often. And again, it is mostly avoidable by playing a little bit more safe instead of just sending them to their demise all the time.
This whole thing blows my mind. I just love the idea that we can just have like a bunch of plebs now to farm our fragments for it, so we can focus on bossing, like kings, while they do the peasant work in fields.